Oh shit, ladies and gentlemen of the congregation, we're experiencing technical difficulties, but not really. There we go, fixed. Ha! It was that quick, that easy. We did it. I just, I literally forgot to do to change the Discord video from one Discord channel to the other before transitioning us over. That's all it was.
Nice.
Wow, I really
Yeah, it
have gotten
happens.
thinner. Holy shit, I can tell on the Discord video that I've gotten thinner, that I've been losing weight. Here's the thing, I've remained the same weight for the last several days, but it's like I'm remaining the same weight on the scale, but I'm noticing like a difference in shape, if that makes sense.
It does.
Like there's there's not a weight difference, but there's a shape difference, you know. So I'm now at that point where I'm telling that there's a shape difference before the next chunk of weight loss. And this is crazy because this is me losing weight over the holidays. All right. I know that we're supposed to like jump into it like we normally do, and I was planning on that, but I need to make a statement that's different between me and the last holiday experiences I've had over the last decade. Normally, I'm guzzling eggnog like it's nobody's business. I have had 2 eggnogs over the last several weeks. What up?
Hello.
I have
Hello.
had one regular eggnog experience, and I was very slow to drink it. I paced myself like a good person. And then second eggnog experience I tried out the oatmeal eggnog. The oat milk eggnog thing, the oatmeal milk eggnog,
Right.
wasn't for me.
How'd
What-
that?
Not,
so?
not. I mean, it wasn't a bad taste, but it wasn't a solid experience. 5 out of 10 would not recommend. You know, it was passable, and by passable I mean I farted it out.
Nice.
You know, it was not something that it was not worthy of my time, my love, or my respect. But sitting here, seeing you guys, I'm seeing that I'm getting kind of in a better shape, and I'm like, hell yeah, dude. My tummy's not moving. Also, that's another thing. I have had to notch my belt back a bit.
Oh,
All right, so before my belt notch was here,
Mhm.
it is now here.
well,
Yeah, I have had to move it a few times. I have notched it twice over the last month.
it's
Since
working.
I saw you in Atlanta, I have had to notch it twice back. So
Good.
the weight that I have lost has been on my waist, and that's not. Now keep in mind when I say back here, I was actually using like my belt loopies, but that's not on my butt. That's actually up here on my waist, actually. So
Yeah.
yeah. So there's a small bit of difference. Guys, my throat has returned to normal standards, so that's good.
Hooray.
I'm almost there.
I'm still
Yeah.
coughing. Had to get more tea. There's a lot of tea bags in my kitchen right now. We got a big ass box of tea. So
Yeah, you gotta buy more tea.
so
I have leftovers of green
Master Chief is in my house serving up tea bags right now.
That's pretty cool.
And there's a big ass thing of honey about this big in the house right now. The coffee maker is currently just pumping out hot water instead of coffee. So it's just putting out hot water, and I got tea bags in there, honey, and honestly, when I didn't have honey, here's what was actually going in there with tea bags, and I would drop 2 fucking honey lemon cough drops in that bitch.
I had never thought about that.
That's a
yeah.
good idea.
Funny enough, I was getting like a slight taste of honey lemon, but it was mostly menthol.
Oh,
Makes
Yeah.
sense. The
It was-
menthol is strong.
That menthol is strong, dude.
Oh, a friend of mine
What
at
up,
work.
Shim?
I didn't have cough drops at work one day.
We missed you. We missed you last Tuesday. We went through all 8 episodes of Slime.
Yeah,
good.
I got to be
But it
here
was
for like.
nice.
the
We got a
last
bit of
portion
shim.
it.
We got a bit of shim love when episode 6 rolled around and the ogres finally showed up. Your Joe Keery ass.
Joe Curie ass.
It's so funny how many people that did not recognize Joe Keery. I was like, really?
I didn't know
Out
who
of-
Joe Curie was until you told me.
Out of all of the,
Wow.
here's the funny thing. Out of all of the people that we were like, it's this person, this person, this person, this person. I was like, really? Because Joe Keery's probably the most relevant of all the celebrities, quote unquote celebrities that I named. because he's the most relevant of our age. Everybody else was like, George Clooney, blah, blah. I'm like, these are older. This is like old people. And I'm like, Joe Keery, he's like the most age-appropriate person. And it's like, it's the guy with the baseball bat that beats up the fucking Demogorgon from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd be more relevant in terms of, it's like, y'all don't know who this motherfucker is. All right, cool. Good to know. That just tells me y'all don't pay attention to jack shit of any of the people y'all watch on fucking Netflix. All right, gotcha. I thought he was a teen heartthrob and people gave a fuck about him. Nope.
Oh.
All right.
It's very upsetting. Actually.
That having been said, though, now that you're here,
Mm-hmm.
ladies and gentlemen of the congregation, please open your holy books of Remeruism to chapter 4, where Shim is going to be taking over for the interim all the way until 9 o'clock.
Serious 5-head energy going on here.
You are going to be reading for a while because we got 60 pages to chew up. So,
got it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm on it.
So here we go. We're starting with the morning of day 3. So like the chapter says, we have, we straight up have the final round and the labyrinth's grand opening. Now to recap what happened, we had the tournament. We went through rounds. Technically, I guess you could say round 1 and 2. We had the prelims. I think we had the prelims before, and then we went through round 1 and 2. So we didn't witness the prelims. They just kind of happened. And then we had round 1 and 2 officially. And then the night of that, we got the finances secured for everything. Elmesia just was like, oh, you have money troubles? You don't anymore. By the way, we're pretty sure somebody's fucking with you. So
Yes.
Have fun with that. Oh, and
Have fun with that.
let me meet your little cooking boy. His meals are so divine. I want to meet your cooking boy. It's like food. Ooh, money here. Food. That was basically it. So that's what you missed. On with the story. Shim,
Okay.
Go ahead.
You got it. Chapter 4, the final round on the labyrinth's grand opening.
Look how quickly we can get through shit when I don't distract everybody for half an hour.
Half a second. Anyway.
I mean, we can always get into another round of
No.
coming up with food-related puns.
No.
No, it's no. We can't do that.
I'm sure everyone loved that.
I mean, I did, but
Dude, I will tell you, if you have not been keeping up with 1000-Year Blood War, holy shit, this episode was fucking phenomenal. And dear God, if you did not catch yesterday's Witch of Mercury. Fuck,
Oh
it was
yeah,
so
I heard
good.
about that. So
Oh, it was so
I gotta
good.
watch that.
It was so good.
I just recently caught up with Chainsaw Man, but that's a different thing. So
I had a pleasant argument with someone on Twitter today about Chainsaw Man.
Pleasant.
oh
Yeah,
Pleasant
because it
argument.
wasn't arguing about some
So it was
random
civil.
background
Okay.
bitch. We actually had an argument about whether Denji or Rudius from Mushoku Tensei had more depth of character.
I guess it just depends on what you
Like
describe as
literally,
depth, but
literally, who had more character development and who had more depth to their character and who had more growth. And they're like, Chainsaw Man, blah blah blah, and they went in like to the psychological aspect of like Denji as a character and how much they grew in the manga over part 1. And I'm like, bro, I can literally just okay. In part one of the manga, you have all this growth of them as a character and as a person. I only need 2 episodes of Mushoku Tensei to do everything that happened in part 1 with Denji. Episode 16, episode 17, done. Just those 2 episodes. Just those 2 episodes. That's
I guess
not
it
even,
just depends.
That's not even the entirety of one light novel. That's half of one light novel right there. Bam. And I mean, he's like, yeah, but the depth of that entire character, he's like, you can't say that Rudy has infinitely more depth than Denji. All right, if we're doing anime to anime, I can give you that. But when you start comparing, if you start saying that you're comparing Denji as a character to Rudius as a character, and you're combining everything about Rudius to everything about Denji, it's wholly unfair to Denji.
I guess it just depends
Because
it's like,
there's
how do you
so
measure
much
character growth?
content. Because there's so much content about Rudius.
Yeah.
You're
So, I
talking
mean-
about taking an entire lifetime, 2 lifetimes actually, of Rudius. Granted, Rudius didn't have a lot of growth in his first lifetime. But his second lifetime, he had massive personal growth.
I guess someone would have to actually like lay it out, like arc for arc, scene for scene, for like, okay, because
Dude,
it's really
just
hard
the
to
child,
put.
just the child arc alone, he has more growth in just the child arc of the anime than Denji did just going from. You could equate part 1 of the Chainsaw Man arc of like Denji's character arc of going from being a dog to becoming an actual human being.
I just find it funny. It's like, okay,
Doing
so
what
this
he's
character
told
has
to
like,
actually going from doing what he's told to actually just
Mhm.
doing stuff for himself and being like an actual human being. I'm not saying that there's, and we both
Gotcha.
agreed that they are great characters and they're great archetypes and stuff like that. We had a civil discourse. That was the
yeah,
thing.
that's fine.
We
That's,
weren't.
That's
it didn't
good. At
become a
least you're not, like,
screaming
attacking each
match.
other's
Or,
throats,
yeah.
so, yeah.
I wasn't hating on where
So-
he was coming from. I was like, no, I can see where you're getting at, but also this, you know.
Well, see, Denji has about 5 arc meters more of character development compared to Rudius, who has about
Alright.
like
Oh,
4.5 arc meters.
Let's not make it a dick measuring contest.
I know. I'm just
no,
kidding.
no,
It's
it's
just
not
like,
a
it's
dick-
like
it's
putting
not-
in actual measurements. What do you describe it as?
It's not a dick measuring contest. It's just straight
I
up.
know.
He's like, if we were actually to compare what's available for these two characters. All right,
Yeah.
part 1 of the manga, here's where the manga's at right now. You have part 1 of the manga. Here's what's after part 1 of the manga so far. To where it's current.
Mhm.
There's not a lot that's after part 1 of the manga right now. It's just a little past part 1 of the manga. That's where
I
we're
should
at.
read that too.
Versus where the anime is, the 24 episodes of the anime for Mushoku Tensei, your 6 volumes of the light novel, versus now let's just say I'm capping it at where I'm at, which is what officially has been released in the US.
Mhm.
19 volumes of the light novel.
That's a lot.
I'm not even talking about what's out in Japan officially, because that's all 26 volumes. That's the entire story of Mushoku Tensei.
Is it done?
Yeah, it's done.
Okay.
It's finished. Also, there's a potential sequel series to Mushoku Tensei that deals with his children.
Mhm.
Okay. I gotcha.
So, and I'm not even comparing the worlds yet, which the world
So,
building in
wow.
Mushoku Tensei is infinitely more rich and complex than Chainsaw Man. There's a different you can talk to me all day about like the difference between art, the visual style of art versus the penmanship of not having a visual style versus a light novel. But the world building of Mushoku Tensei versus like the whole aesthetic of Chainsaw Man, and I get that Chainsaw Man is actually set in the 90s. I get that.
I didn't
However,
know that.
Mushoku Tensei is richly diverse and infinitely more complex.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
Then-
it just depends on what you're looking for in an anime.
Also
You
true.
know?
But I'm saying
So-
like the way that the world is built up. Like, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Even if it's taking place in 90s Japan, you can get more complex and detailed than just 90s Tokyo, Japan. You can do a lot more infinite world build. I mean, for God's sakes, we're talking about hell. Devils come from hell. You're telling me you can't build a rich and interesting and complex underworld?
I mean, they probably can. I
They
just
can.
feel like
We haven't. I feel like there's a lot of really interesting potential there, and I hope we get to that. But I didn't get a lot of that yet, is what I'm saying.
yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, I guess I haven't read the manga, but I
We-
feel like that's more character driven. But anyway,
sorry.
it's
The
all
point.
good.
the point was I had a really great conversation with this person. It was interesting. This happened with this started as a conversation between this person and Reanimated, and I got involved because I was like, I think I just threw my hot take out there. I think that Rudius is greater than Denji just in general as a character. I think he's a much more rich and interesting character, and then that was my hot take, and I was like, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Reanimated agreed. And
Yeah.
no, and that's not to say I don't like Denji as a character. I just think that Rudius is much more interesting and complex.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
You can say that.
Back to slime.
Yeah. The morning of day 3. I had already completed my little jaunt to the Dwarven Kingdom and exchanged my cellars for gold coins.
Yeah,
That takes care of that. He did it. Did the what was it? The currency exchange. Good.
Yep.
Now we'll have
Dollars
to wait
for
and see how
yen.
this schemer. Yeah, dollars for yen. Finally.
What's the exchange rate?
Actually, I don't know, but I thought it was like 100 yen is $1. But I think
No.
it's a little-
Stellars to gold coins. What's the exchange rate
Oh.
going?
I forget about that. Actually, I think they described it, didn't they?
There's not
Anyway.
not an exchange rate. It's literally you're
Oh.
trading. You're turning in. You're not actually changing currency. It's like, It's essentially kind of like, turning in $100 bills and asking for 20s instead.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
so, okay.
it's not
That's
an
not too
actual
bad.
exchange rate. This is different.
It's just
I'm
getting
being an
changed.
asshole. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. Now we'll have to wait and see how the schemer behind this reacts. So, all anxieties for the future quelled, let's go back to enjoying the festival.
Yay!
Kicking off, we had today's first main... hold on. Thing went on. Okay. First main draw, the tournament final between Masayuki and Gupta.
Yeah.
That should be good. The Coliseum was already whipped up for this, people arguing and betting with each other over who would win. Molly Mile was taking those bets, of course, and I looked forward to seeing how much we'd make off that. The most surefire way to win at gambling, after all, is to run the game. No matter who looked like the favorite.
I forgot to mention something,
House always
both for
wins,
you
so.
guys and the stream, real quick. Number one, just want to let you guys know that we're currently running on ultra low latency, so you should be getting close to as real time on stream as we possibly can let you. Secondly, there's been an update on these streams specifically because I got improved RAM, like insanely improved RAM. The RAM sticks, by the way, thank you Vicious, and also thank you Wraith for helping me get the gas money to go 45 minutes to Murfreesboro and 45 back, so I'd have the gas to do that. So I have double the RAM, so it's no longer an issue on stream. We're now at 1080p, 60 FPS.
Cool.
Yeah, I can
Very good.
now afford to do that crap. So,
Nice.
yeah. Discord is not able to keep up specifically on that front, but we're not doing too bad. We're all right. I unfortunately my camera can only do 720, but that's something that we can maybe pick up later. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, people are more here for, like, the commentary and the reading, so...
Yeah. So,
I mean... Although I do appreciate if you are here to see our faces.
yeah. So at least now you can see us in a little better quality. Not, but that's more like for the gaming side, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we do the gaming stuff.
But yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, no matter who looked like the favorite, you were always going to profit that way. See, I play both sides, so I'm always coming out on top.
God damn it!
Basically
You
that.
son of a bitch.
I'm in.
Yeah. I made a bet on Gobta in the hopes of maybe earning some pocket money out of it. No, it wasn't because he was a long shot. Definitely not. I certainly didn't place a large sum on Gobta just because the odds were so crazily skewed against him. But that didn't matter anyway, alright? I had a hobgoblin to cheer him on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the final match of the tournament is here at last. Which of our two competitors will seize the championship for himself today? Will it be Lightspeed Masayuki or Gupta, the fighter rising up and making a splash as he vies for a spot in the illustrious Big Four? Soka's commentating was as fresh as ever. She was talking up Gupta in such a breezily casual manner. It was, in a way, insurance to keep Gupta from ditching the tournament and hiding out somewhere. A cruel way of doing it, but damn effective. Diablo lifted up his hand. The arena fell silent. Was it me or were some of the female audience members falling for him? I banished the thought from my mind.
God damn it, God.
I mean,
God damn it, Diablo.
In. If Gobta beat Masayuki today, all of my problems were in the past. If, on the other hand, Masayuki really was a fighter on the level of Hinata, Gobta was toast, but we could still learn a lot from this battle. If Masayuki had, well, pretty much any trouble dispatching Gobta today, for example, we'd know that he was no threat at all to us. Gobta had both Ranga and astonishing good luck on his side. It wasn't a bad way to test Masayuki out, I thought. Soka was now busy introducing the competitors in detail. Once that was done, the fight would begin. I patiently awaited the moment. How much of Masayuki's real skill could Gupta pull out of him? Masayuki was panicking. Good.
Mm-hmm.
When he saw Bovix and Equix's battle yesterday, realizing he'd be fighting whoever won, he turned pale as a ghost. I'm dead. If I fight either of those monster freaks, they'll rip me in half. Somehow he found the right words to turn Bovix against himself and forfeit the match. He really wanted to pat himself on the back for that one, but the match after that threw Masayuki right back into despair. How the hell can I beat them? Did they only open this country's tournament to insane monsters or what? Both the competitors at yesterday's closing match were more terrifying than even Bovix. It made him want to curse at the world. He didn't eat one bit last night, feeling all the world like a condemned prisoner waiting for the call to the gallows. Dude, he's got king syndrome. This is great. I love it. Looking back, things really have been going too well. Leaning too much on the strength of his friends, letting people band him around as a hero and champion, he let it go to his head, figuring it'll all work out somehow. Yeah. And it had so far. Enough so that Masayuki never really doubted it much. Or maybe he deliberately strove not to think about it. He believed, without evidence, that his group was invincible and could defeat all comers. That was how Masayuki managed to maintain some sense of sanity about all this. What? How did I kid myself into trusting any of those stupid delusions? I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. The urge had seized his mind again and again. Heh. Once you win your fight tomorrow, Masayuki, how about you move right on and challenge the Demon Lord on the spot? The question from Jinrai, that was Jinrai, was so innocent. Masayuki wanted to shout, "You're crazy!" at him. This was all that Demon Lord Rimuru's fault. He looked so kind, so vulnerable, that Masayuki wasn't as wary as he should have been. Otherwise, he would have taken more careful steps to protect himself. Either way, said Jiwoo, it's only a matter of time, Sir Masayuki. Soon you will slap the Demon Lord silly and this nation will finally be free.
What the fuck do they think is happening here? It's already fucking free.
I love it. They're so delusional. But shouldn't we talk with Yuki before he fights him? You're calling this an easy fight, but what if he somehow loses tomorrow? Jinrai looked up. Whoa, Bernie, are you kidding me? Yes, I'd be more worried if Lion Mask made it to the finals, but Gulpta, this hobgoblin, has to be in the bag. The battle will be over before he can even summon that beast. No, it wasn't in the bag. Masayuki had no idea how he'd defend himself. All he could picture was a future full of teeth, claws, and daggers, but his companions had so much faith in him, he couldn't reveal his feelings to them. So he just nonchalantly said, well, I'll try my best, and bluffed his way through the evening.
God damn it, Masayuki.
Good. And now time had beat... Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
I just said, God damn it, Masayuki.
I love him. He's amazing. He's the hero we all need.
He's the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now.
I love it. He's got
Here.
Dude, I love it. He's got reverse Zenitsu syndrome. I love it so much. And now time had beaten its merciless path all the way to this moment. Masayuki visited the bathrooms. I mean, to be fair, even like the smallest monster would probably rip your stomach open. So it's like, well, you know, he's just a guy.
No, he does have skills.
I know, but like he's just a guy.
He does have some fighting skills. He's just.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably put him somewhere around like D or something.
D?
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, he's not
D
strong.
for bad.
Oh yeah, he's not strong.
Fair.
No.
How did he get?
He's weak.
Oh.
But here's the thing. He started off really weak. I think here's the thing. He gets like skills and growth and everything just by being in the party, by existing. He doesn't fight. He just kind of just absorbs power through osmosis. He is Osmosis Jones.
Except not voiced by Chris Rock.
Yeah,
you know.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
So in a way that's kind of good because that means he doesn't get slapped by Will Smith.
Ah, why you hit so hard?
That was perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
Masayuki visited the bathroom several times in the lead up to the final, just to make sure he didn't pee himself in the arena. What am I gonna do? How can I escape this coliseum alive? Facing him was a fighter who exuded coolness. His name was Gobta, according to the lady announcer next to them. Jiwoo thought beating a hobgoblin was a cinch, but Masayuki couldn't see it.
Here's how
Hobgoblin.
Here's how you know he's weak. He thinks Gobta exudes coolness.
That's amazing. I love
He
it. I want to
thinks
see like the
Gobta
mental
exudes
image of him in his
coolness.
mind. Ah, that's amazing. I love it. It's gonna look so good animated.
Oh God.
A
I need to
hobgoblin. Liar.
Masayuki
Goblins are the
village.
weakest monster.
Masayuki vision.
It's just, I just want to see like buff Gobta, and he's got like
Hang on,
a
hang
flowing
on.
mane of hair.
It's
and he's
just no. It's just
It's just
what
Rieger
is
with
it? What is
Gobta's
it?
face.
what is it?
Yeah.
It's just.
What was that? Was that just?
The hell?
I don't know what you were doing. You were eating something, and then you kind of
No.
for
It's
a
just
sec.
it just. You ever do that? You ever like? Oh shucks.
Oh, like
The whole yeah, but you know you just bop yourself like that. You just so you just bop yourself
Yeah.
on the chin. You just
like oh, I'm so dumb.
no, it's like I'm so cool.
Oh, like when you rub the back of your head.
But
like
instead of embarrassment, you know, you just bump your cheek. So
I guess I can kind of see it, but
and instead,
I usually think the
you just-
embarrassment is like.
Instead,
when
you
you're
just
like
act like your neck is on a swivel. You just bop your.
that. You jive.
no,
Everyone's just jiving.
not like that. Not like
I don't know.
Well,
That's
it's a
why. I thought
bobblehead.
you
not
were
like
doing.
you're from India. No. Oh, it's such a very good day today. God damn.
Oh god. Good.
Great. Now I'm getting canceled. Thank you for that. Now
I
You
didn't say
said it.
anything.
I said
I
it
didn't
was a
say anything.
bobblehead.
you're the one.
Yeah.
No, you're the one that started
Jiving.
doing it.
Bobblehead, bro. Bobblehead.
Jiving is cross-cultural, okay?
Now you look like you're
Everyone
about
can
to ask
jive and
somebody
vibe.
if they. Now you look like you're. See, he does bobblehead, and it looks like he's asking somebody if he's about to invite somebody into the Quickie Mart.
Oh my god.
Welcome to the Quickie Mart. Would you like a slushie? Yeah.
You're terrible.
Welcome to
Now
the
you're
Quickie
definitely
Mart.
squishy.
Would you like a
Canceled.
slushie?
I think they were squishies, not slushies.
No, it's a slushie. Here's a slushie.
It was a slushie? Okay,
Yeah,
I thought
we
it
have
was a
three.
squishy.
We have three flavors today: cherry, lemon, and goofy grip.
I do like Goofy, great.
Goofy grip.
Anyway.
Jesus.
Here's the thing.
Hobgoblin. Huh? What's
I'm
up?
a voice actor. God damn it!
I'm
They're
just
like,
screwed.
"Oh, you're canceled. You're white. You're doing that accent." Ah! I'm like, voice acting, dude.
Yeah, that's true. It
My
fits.
job is to do any accent. To put on
I mean,
a
if they got beef.
character.
If they got beef, take it up with the person who wrote the script.
I'm sorry. If
Or
you
who
got
is
beef,
hiring, so.
guys, if you have beef, I'm not a vegetarian and I'm hungry.
Yeah, that's fair. yeah, that's fair enough.
They're
Yeah. Excuse me.
like, "Oh, cultural appropriation," and I'm like, "Is it though? Or am I just
Appropriate
doing a
your
character?"
face.
That was a good one. Thank you. A
Why
hobgoblin.
is it every time
Huh?
that I do a joke like that, it's always the white people that get offended?
I mean, it's,
Meanwhile, there's a lot of Indian people that are like, "Ha, that's funny."
do we have any Indian people who watch this stream? Like, I'm genuinely curious.
No. Seriously, I watch. Like, I've seen Indian reactors react to jokes like that, and they're like, "That's really funny. We do talk like that." And I'm like,
Oh. Okay, gotcha. I thought you meant like there are actually some in the audience right now. I was like,
"No."
that's cool. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
But it's always the
It'd be
white
cool.
people that are like, "I'm so offended by that cultural appropriation." It's like, shut up.
Anyway.
It's like, look, Karen, maybe you'd be less offended if the white empire didn't just roll all over everybody.
The Empire.
Damn.
Well,
Maybe you should have stuck to your albino country.
jeez.
Damn.
Like, God damn.
Well.
Go back to
Yeah.
Norway, bitch.
Norway. Norway.
Anyway,
Uh,
it's Norway or the highway.
good. A hobgoblin? You liar! Goblins are the weakest monsters in this world. So what'd this guy do to evolve into such a heroic-looking dude?
Push-ups, sit-ups, and plenty of juice.
And 100-kilometer run every single day.
No, that a different guy. That's another
yeah.
anime. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mhm.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Wait,
the
does
final
Gopta still have
round
his
of the...
hair? That could be true.
What?
Does Gopta still have his hair? That could possibly
Oh
be
yeah,
true
he's
if
got
bald.
like a little tuft. So,
Oh,
I
okay,
mean,
there you go. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not quite there yet. Ladies and... Or are you doing dramatic chipmunk right now?
It just reminded me.
Memery.
Hey, that all right. If you haven't seen it, in episode 4, when Rimuru transforms into the Tempest Star Wolf, that's that to scare off like the humans that are trying to pick a fight with them in line. Or actually, that might have been the end of episode 3. It was the end of episode 3 of Slime Abridged. That's the song we used.
Yeah,
for the transformation.
Yep.
I'm like,
Okay.
I'm not apologizing for using that song.
Mhm.
I did that absolutely on purpose, and I'm proud of myself. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How good.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final round of the first
congregation.
Tempest battle. Yes.
Could not help myself.
Can't do that.
I could not help
Ladies and
myself.
gentlemen, the final round of the first Tempest battle tournament is about to begin. It's fair enough.
Tournament. It's time to duel.
Yes.
Yeah.
On one side, we have Gobta, young captain of the Goblin Riders and a member of the Demon Lord Rimuru's personal staff. On the other, Lightspeed Masayuki, hero and champion of the Western nations. What kind of battle will these two giants show us today? You can
Wakanda
see them
battle.
staring. Wait,
Wakanda
what?
battle.
Wakanda battle?
Wakanda battle.
Wakanda battle forever.
Wakanda forever.
Yes.
Wakanda battle forever.
Good.
God damn it.
You can see them staring each other down, here in the center of the arena. In just a few moments, when she stopped talking, the battle would begin. Oh crap, I'm seriously running out of time. He thought his bladder would empty. His nerves were telling him otherwise. They pounded against his mind, urging him to release himself, but he wasn't so worked up. Or if he wasn't so worked up, he might have been interested in things like the cute butt lurking underneath the case of the announcer's tail, but now was no time for that. Okay. Lurking. Masayuki recalled his skill, Chosen One, his sole unique. He still didn't know much about it. The name had been reported to him by this cold, business-like voice in his mind. Only recently had he come to know that this skill provided him assorted effects. He knew it made people react in ways that always benefited him, making him worshipped as a modern-day champion.
I forgot about that.
But he couldn't find a way to turn it off.
Okay,
Now-
guys.
Huh.
If
Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah.
if anybody gets all up in their fifis about the fact that this pale ass motherfucker just said Wakanda forever, I want you to understand that a really dark skinned person, who I now affectionately refer to as Yadoff, is up there saying how much they love Nazis and Hitler. I just
Jesus
want to throw
Christ.
that one out there. The world is upside down. The world is upside down right now. Okay.
The world
So,
turns upside down.
Yeah, it really did.
Yep.
So I'm just saying that if a black man is out there, if Yadoff is out there pushing out Nazi propaganda, I'm allowed to sit out here, cross both my arms together, and say Wakanda forever. So if you don't like it, deal with it. Just saying.
All 9 of you.
That is my straight up Decker. I gotta go bang
I think
Deckerod's
all you guys are
mom.
fine.
Straight up Professor Oaken,
I
that
think
bitch.
you're okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay to say Wakanda forever in this climate. You know. All right.
Anyway,
We now return to our regularly scheduled grudge match.
he couldn't find a way to turn it off, and now it had brought him into this arena. Yeah, and that power did its stuff against Bovix yesterday too. And if it can just get me safely through this one. As far as Masayuki knew, Chosen One simply made everyone assume the wrong thing about him. He resolved to bet on it one more time. This inner decision helped calm him a little. He looked at his foe. Then, was it coincidence? Their eyes met, and he saw that he was looking a bit agitated too. Fidgety. Huh? Wait, is this gonna work? The opponents reacted this way to him at the tournaments in Glacia too. So assuming Masayuki was all-powerful and throwing in the towel, it happened more often than he could count. Now, maybe, just maybe, he could win this. At the moment he thought that, his legs stopped shaking. Maybe, if all goes well, I can win without doing anything again. His wits were returning him as he thought it over, but in all too short of time, he'd have to reconsider this wisdom. Ready, and begin! At Sokka's signal, the battle kicked off. Woo! Let's do it! Gobta reacted first, plunging straight ahead. I feared this was some kamikaze move to get himself hurt, but not too hurt, so he would quit. I was wrong. Oh, it's him. I guess that fishing pole I dangled in front. Oh, this is Rimuru. That fishing pole I dangled in front of him was pretty damn tempting. Heading straight for his foe, Gobta slipped right past him in a baseball-style slide, taking position against the outer boundary like yesterday. His eyes were on his foe the whole time, but Masayuki didn't even react, slowly turning back towards Gobta with a distant smile. Whoa! Is handsomeness the key to strength after all? Gobta's tricky maneuvers were totally ignored as the dashing Masayuki shows just how unfazed and comfortable he is. Sokka's commentary hit hard. It'd make anyone with hang-ups about their looks cry, not just Gobta. Yeah, Masayuki was handsome, but this was playing favorites a bit too much. All part of the playbook. You're acting like nothing I can do will hit you, huh? I wanted to see just how far I could go with my own strength today. But I can't even touch you, huh? Then it's time to use this. My new ultimate power. Oh lord, he was up to no good again. This was so going to fail. No one was around to stop him. But I really wish he'd try actually practicing something before busting it out in public like this.
Report. Last night, the subject Gobta obtained a unique skill, Summon Demon Wolf. It is believed that the subject Ranga's forcing himself into yesterday's summoning is the cause, but it combines the extra skill Unify to unify the summoned Ranga with the summoner.
Huh? So, wait. Gobta could use Summon Demon Wolf to, merge with Ranga? How did he... Hey, wasn't Raphael about to say something last night but kept quiet instead? Was it about that?
That accusation is...
That accusation is what, huh? If Raphael couldn't even drive himself to finish the sentence, something must be going on. Gobta suddenly awakening to this new crazy power out of nowhere was way too unnatural to believe. I was beginning to think Raphael may have helped grease the wheels a little, helping Gobta pick up this skill. Raphael stayed silent. He never lied to me, but he was in no hurry to answer the truth either. I could force the issue, but maybe I didn't need to.
What are you accusing me of, you son of a slime?
You son of a slime. How dare you? You shut your mouth. Do you have any idea who you're talking to? Anyway, I graduated at the top of my class and never mind.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, graduated at the top of your class of what? Discount Kirby school?
No, it's...
I don't know about you guys, but I don't like when things fuse with canines. It just brings up bad memories.
Oh, I'm sad. I'm sad now.
Edward.
How dare
Brother
you?
Edward.
How dare you? Get out of this house. Actually, it's not my house. This is technically Richie's house, but anyway.
I mean, first off...
Stay in the house, but leave if he instructs you
First
to.
off, good times. Secondly...
Anyway.
World's okay.
No!
Oh, are you talking about world's okayest dad?
Jesus Christ.
World's
Fuck that guy.
okayest. World's okayest dad. World's worst alchemist.
All
right.
Let's just see what happens.
Yeah,
The timing
let's.
at least. Yeah, let's. Check this out. Transform! The air warped around him. Ranga appeared behind his back, and then they unified. Ranga's body seeming to merge with Gobta's. To make a long story short, the results look like a bipedal version of Ranga, and I'll admit, it looked way cool. Damn it.
Oh.
Why does Gobta get to transform into something so awesome like
Wait
that?
till we get to the picture.
Oh, God. It's gonna be
There's a picture.
Whoa, sweet. What is that? So cool. Milim next to me was dancing in her seat. I could understand her excitement. Gobta drove me insane sometimes, turning into some dashing fantasy creature like this. Look at that. Gobta has transformed into something far from himself. Yes, a composed Diablo said to the excited Sokka, whose voice had ratcheted up an octave or so.
An
The
octave.
ability to infuse an octave. Yeah.
I don't know why he
octave,
called it
right?
an octave. I'm like,
I
what
don't
the
know.
fuck is an
I was thinking
octave?
Octavian. Anyway. The ability to infuse your own body with the power of a summoned creature, a very rare skill. So, Gobta is using the power of the creature he summoned yesterday for himself? Amazing! We're witnessing something amazing here, folks! Wait. I whispered, so it's kind of like Gobta extracting all of Ranga's force for his own use? Impressive, isn't it? Ranga seems to be giving himself up to Gobta, but this combo might work a lot better than I thought. We're talking about Gobta here. Oh, and Gobta is my... Oh, this is... Okay. And Gobta is my apprentice, remember? He may not be the greatest physical specimen, but he has experience fighting Magic-born more powerful than he is.
Magicorn.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Magicorn. They're like unicorns, but with magic.
Yeah, sorry, I was picturing
Yes.
him in my head, and he had like a horn, and then I was like,
Nay, I say unto you. Nay.
nerd.
Wait, aren't you part
Yeah.
dog? Shut up, kid.
Shut up, kid.
Nerd.
Nay.
Neighbor.
Yeah, but he does have 2 horns. You know, so
Yeah, so he's got like that thing.
there we go. Magicorn.
He has, yes, he has experience fighting Magic-born more powerful than he is. If he can ably harness Sir Ranga's power, he may grow in ways I cannot predict. My officials seem impressed at least, but the rest of the crowd was watching on silently, holding their breath. Now it's my turn. It's been your turn, dude. Masayuki hasn't done anything. Good. My jealousy was driving me to pick on him internally. Then Gobta disappeared before my eyes. Figuratively. My eyes could follow him, but I'm sure most of the audience thought he vanished. Gobta is gone? Sokka shouted, very deliberately drumming up the tension. Where did he go? I knew she could see him as well. Nice performance on her part. And then right before her eyes, boom! There was a small explosion accompanied by a thundering sound. It was located by the walls under the stands, right by the VIP boxes I was in, as it happened. Oh, he's awesome! That's awesome. It's badass.
Right?
Yeah, isn't that great?
Looks like a fucking Digimon.
A
fucking
bit,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, he looks like
Look
fucking
how
Werewolf.
badass that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. When,
All right.
When
One
that
of
gets
you-
animated,
one of
the
you-
joke
one
should
of you
be
please.
Gobtamon.
One of you,
Yeah.
please. Whichever one of you wants to. Somebody screen share that. Right now, somebody
mean,
screen share. If
Someone
you can,
screen share that?
one
I
of you
got
can
it.
screen share.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got it. He's got that.
Okay.
Looks really cool.
Yeah.
Like it's
I
work.
want you guys to see this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's what it looks like, guys. That's what he looks like.
He just became fucking like Wergarurumon mixed with Leomon.
Okay,
It's
stop
fucking
watching.
cool.
All right, you can stop screen sharing now.
Yeah, anyway.
He looks so good. That's
Yeah.
so fucking good. That's
DNA
Come on,
Digivolve.
Digivolve 2.
No. That they DNA Digivolve. They went
Oh, that's what it was,
fusion.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
Gobtan Raga DNA
Oh
Digivolve.
my god. Thus you had a close-up view.
Gabrurumon.
Gabrurumon.
The wings of love.
Gabrumon.
Yeah.
Gabrangamon.
Yeah.
Gabrangamon.
The wings of love. No, never mind. That was a different Digimon.
All right.
Anyway.
Oh shit.
Thus, I had a close-up view of Gobta right after declaring it to be his turn, running straight for Masayuki, and then continuing to run past him until he smashed into the wall. I knew he should have rehearsed that first. Even before he tried it, I knew there was a pretty big chance he'd screw it up. Whoa! Gobta isn't getting back up. Is he all right? He wasn't. In fact, bashing himself against the wall had knocked him unconscious, and the out-of-bounds line was far behind him. He was out. That idiot had no control over that transformation at all. Everything had worked up great worked great up to taking in Ranga's powers, but I could see those powers treat him like a chew toy. To put it simply, he wanted to start running, then stop running, but his brain was still judging these maneuvers based on his original body dimensions. A second of time in Gobta's world was far different from that same second in Ranga's. Before he could even stop to think, his head was against the wall. Even worse, as Sokka pointed out, he showed no sign of getting back up. It was the shock of the collision, rather than actual physical damage, that knocked him out. What can I say? First, he reveals this super cool new monster, then he reveals himself for the dolt he is. Very true to character. I was stunned into silence. That fool, Benimaru muttered, eyes turned upward. That's Gobta for you, Shion snickered. ... Veins throbbed on Hakuro's head.
The forehead.
Or forehead. Wow, so that's your fighting apprentice, Dad? And Momiji added more fuel to the fire. It was, shall we say, a hard-to-describe sort of tension, and Gobta deserved it, frankly. The crowd around us was also having trouble parsing these events. I could hear one of them try to explain them based on the sparse evidence at hand. Wait, did he throw him aside in midair? The arena was so quiet, the words echoed oddly well. Amazing! Amazing, Masayuki! Whoa, that was awesome! I barely even saw it happen. This is just too crazy. Praise for Masayuki spread like a virus across the Coliseum. Then, as if this explanation was the unvarnished truth, cheers began to erupt, heralding Masayuki's victory before Soka and Diablo could take
I love this next
action.
part.
God. Damn it, I was hoping that it would be really cool.
No,
Anyway,
hold on. Keep going. This next part's great.
My neighbor, however, was quivering with anger. Is this some kind of twisted joke? After looking all cool like that. I mean, what was that? After that radical transformation, this was the result. Gobta had shot expectations sky high with Milim, then sent them crashing down to earth. It only amplified her anger. Now, I think he did his very best in his own way. Rimuru, you know spoiling him isn't good for him. That's right, Sir Rimuru. I think I have been too lenient with Gobta as well. We should all be more stringent with him going forward. Hakuro agreed with Milim. This was the first I heard of him going easy on Gobta. Right. I'll whip him into shape. Rimuru, let me borrow Gobta for a while. I'll make him into the most wonderful fighter you've ever seen. Milim's eyes were sparkling now. This was a rare monster, and she just had to have him. I was sure. If I nodded my approval here, that'd be so mean to Gobta, but then I thought of something else. Actually, I have a favor to ask you. I'll accept your offer if you would accept mine. How about that? All right, let's hear it. So, there's a set of ruins in Clayman's domain, right near his manor. I don't want people poking around them without permission, and I think they're packed with artifacts that'll teach us about the ancient past, so I've been keeping them untouched for now. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to explore these ruins, but I wanted to get your permission first. Why are you asking me? Because it's your domain now, doofus. Milim, who's the ruler of that domain right now? Oh, Frey. Frey asked Milim quietly before I could even say it. Oh, Milim shot up straight in her seat. Oh, right, that's me, isn't it? Right, I knew that. Great, glad she remembered. So, of course it's fine. That was easy. Well, maybe Milim just wanted to put the subject behind her, but as long as I got her permission, anything was fine. Sorry, Gobta, but at least I was achieving something out of this. I mean, Gobta essentially self-destructed, and I still didn't know anything about Masayuki's skills. He wouldn't mind if I at least got some use out of this travesty, right? It helped build him up besides. All's well that ends well. But when you do this exploring, Rimuru, you'll take me along, right? That'll depend. I've actually reached out to an expert from the Free Guild on this topic, but if they give the okay, you can come, sure. Ooh, sounds like fun. Yeah, don't get your hopes up. It might turn out pretty boring. I continued to chat with Milim as we awaited the certified results, which took a few minutes. Finally, Soka and Diallo wrapped up their decisions. The judgment is in, and while I'm concerned for the still unconscious Gobta, the winner is... Don't remind me, as I thought as I listened to Soka's announcement. Check this out. Transform, came the shout, and only then did Masayuki realize he was being far too optimistic. Whoa, wait a second. What's that thing? I've heard nothing about this. There was no way he'd finish Gobta before any summoning took place. Oh, great, we're getting his perspective.
Yeah.
Good. He was transforming his own body now, something Masayuki totally didn't expect. The sheer power in the air was electrifying. To the amateur level Masayuki, this looked like a towering monolith of strength. He knew there was no healing potion, he knew there was healing potion on hand, but no way it could help him. It couldn't raise the dead. Dude, one of those claws tears right through me. This armor's about as good as cardboard. If I knew this was going to happen, I would have never turned down full plate for being too heavy. For that matter, he realized in the midst of his reverie, not even a full suit of Magisteel armor could help that much. Gobta shouted. Now it's my turn! Then, not waiting for a reply, he burst into action. Masayuki was this close to saying, wait a minute, I give! His life, he concluded, meant far more to him than his pride. Faced with this transformed monster, victory no longer mattered to him at all, but regardless of what he thought, events moved on without him. Before he could say, I forfeit, a rumbling boom echoed across the arena as Gobta self-destructed. Masayuki, unable to react, just stood there dumbfounded. A small piece of the stone wall scratched against his cheek. The stinging pain told him this was all too real. No way. I could never have dodged that. I know people misconstrue my words to my benefit, but if I wasn't able to get away with murder like this, it'd be hopeless for me. It was clear what would happen. Gobta would be disqualified and he'd be crowned champion, but Masayuki began to wonder if that was really a good thing for him. Would winning this provide him with anything he wanted? The right to battle a demon lord? You gotta be kidding! It's totally suicide! Masayuki wasn't a fool. If he was named champion, it'd be him against Demon Lord Rimuru. He understood what that meant for him. That Black Wolf who had just whipped by him, as well as Lion Mask from yesterday, were both opponents he had no chance of beating, and they both worked under Rimuru. Pick a fight against that guy, and he'd just get pummeled. Pummeled? Or like killed? It wasn't about whether his skill would work or not. The Demon Lord was in a whole nother universe. It was hopeless. Thus, Masayuki decided he needed to get out of there pronto. Seriously, the crowd thought he threw that freak into the wall? That was just depressing. Good. He had to do something fast, or else Gupta would lose. Masayuki's mind raced faster than it ever had before in his life. How could he arrange things so he could lose around in one piece? The judgment is in, and while I'm concerned for the still unconscious Gupta, the winner is... Oh, crap. Wait. Masayuki went on the move, panicking internally but playing it cool on the outside as he brought his hand up towards Soka. Soka figured Masayuki had something to say, so she handed him a spare mic. I think I lost, actually, he said, trying his hardest to keep his voice from shaking. But Masayuki, sir, Soka replied, bewildered. It looks very much like Gupta took himself out of the match. Perhaps, but, I couldn't keep up with that attack at all. I don't think I have the experience needed to challenge a Demon Lord yet. I just thought, he spoke slowly, trying not to get tongue-tied.
Quite yet, but okay.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
It's okay.
I don't think I have the experience needed to challenge a Demon Lord quite yet. I just thought, he spoke slowly, trying not to get tongue-tied as the sweat poured down his entire body. It was a real stretch of an excuse, but he tried to make it sound as reasonable as he could. Then, without saying anything else, he walked out of the arena and never looked back. Someone asked him a question right now, he'd have no answer for it, so he decided to just leave without another word. With my skill active, I'm sure the crowd will imagine some way to make that sound convincing for me. Right now, getting out of here is my best option. Masayuki had never focused so much on moving his legs before now, but it worked. He was out of his potentially lethal pinch.
Yep.
Well,
this
good.
is the
Lovely.
funniest fucking thing in the world. I love it.
He
was just like, he just noped right the hell out.
Nope.
It looks like the
Literal
winner by
nope.
unanimous decision. Nope. He just noped the fuck out because he was like, what the hell am I even doing here? And he just noped. To be fair, that was probably really smart.
Look, like, he
To be
just,
fair.
like, literally Gopta transformed, slammed into a wall, and Masayuki was just like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah, bye.
I mean, to be fair, what would happen if he went up against Rimuru? Rimuru would just walk up to him and learn, oh, he can't do shit, and just knock him over.
Yeah, or
Rimuru would just, he'd be like, you know that chosen one skill you have is useless against me, right? What? like literally, that's all he had to do.
Save himself embarrassment.
He would literally just walk up to him, pat him, and go, so my skill tells me that your chosen one skill doesn't affect me at all.
I like to think that he
like, yeah.
And then
I
he
like to think he
immediately
does
just
the
went
thing like in
in.
One Piece.
He just
like
literally drops to his knees and goes,
the zombie down to the ground.
like, fuck. Like, it's just
Come on, aside.
because here's the funniest the funniest thing. He'd be like, all right, you can take me on by yourself, or you can have your whole fucking team fight me. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it honestly doesn't. So
It doesn't.
he honestly made the right
matter.
decision.
It just doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter because it's like the Linkin Park song says. In the end, it doesn't even matter.
I mean, it was pretty smart. Not gonna lie.
All
It's
right.
just well.
So here we go.
Yep. Gupta was just lying there, sprawled on the ground, and then Masayuki declared out of nowhere that he lost. What is he thinking? I don't know. He could have been scared of Gupta. What's motivating him to do
I
that?
called it. To be fair, I call this the Donald Trump effect. Everybody is sitting here thinking that Masayuki's playing 5D chess. Nope.
No, he's just
Nope.
He's just dumb.
No.
He's just
Well,
tired of just
Masayuki's
happening.
not Masayuki's
No.
not dumb. He's just simple.
yeah.
He's simple.
That's fair.
Everybody's thinking that Donald Trump is playing 5D chess. No, he's just simple. He's so simple.
That's a good way to put it.
or if you don't want to be political, Goku.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna deck you in the schnoz.
Do you think
I'm
Goku
not
is playing
familiar with
5D
that.
chess?
No.
Yes!
Okay. Alright. That's fair.
I just realized.
Sorry, I'm just...
I'm sorry. I was like trying to think of somebody that everybody thinks is playing 5D chess, and the first thing that came
It's
to
like
me was
King.
like, for 4 years, all I heard was the president is playing 5D chess, and I'm like, no, he's fucking not.
No, the
he's
closest I can
fucking
think of is
not.
King. It's like everyone thinks he's so awesome and badass. Like, no, he just wants to stay in and play video games.
Yeah, King!
People to leave
King
him
from
alone.
One Punch Man, exactly!
Yeah, he's basically King.
Yeah, all right.
I was
keep
like, yeah,
going.
he's so cool. Anyway,
No, he's not.
Benimaru
yeah.
and Shion had no clue what had happened either as they watched Masayuki walk off. So, was he just a big fake after all?
Yes!
Or was there something else going on in his mind? Ah, well, if Masayuki was giving up on fighting me, then I call it a good way to settle matters. The crowd, too, was confused at first. Is it because he can't drum up the will to face the Demon Lord? No, you saw that throw. It was masterful. He said he couldn't keep up with his attack. Is he hurt? There is a small cut on his cheek. What? He managed to land a blow on Sir Masayuki? The murmuring continued anon. Wait, I've got it! One man screamed. Sir Masayuki just gave the Demon Lord a reprieve! What do you mean? The Demon Lord declared he wants to be friendly with humans. You all know that, right? Of course. Yeah. So that's why, the man smugly said. What Masayuki did just now was give a warning to Rimuru.
My fucking god!
God.
I love it. It did sound oddly convincing as much as it irritated me. That's likely why the people around the man started nodding at him. I see. And that reminds me, Sir Masayuki didn't unsheath his sword this time either, did he? Well spotted. You're right. That's his way of telling us he could win this tournament anytime he wanted to.
God fucking
Right.
damn it.
If the Demon Lord pulls any false moves, he's not going to take that sitting down. That's what he's saying. Probably. Of course. If they ever did fight, I bet he'd stop before landing a killing blow. So he's willing to lose some face just to bring the message across. What a wonderful young man he is. That's the Sir Masayuki I know. He's so cool. I couldn't read that last line because I was trying to laugh and say that at the same time.
God fucking damn it.
He's so cool. Wow.
Just reminds me of Fennel from episode 3 of Log Horizon Abridged. Fucking adventures.
Oh, this
Just,
this is wonderful.
Sorry, gotta keep going. Just gotta
Anyway.
keep going. Sorry.
They were starting to, it's okay. They were starting to interpret this in very surprising ways. But soon, all of them were in agreement, singing Masayuki's praises like a church choir.
Fuck.
Masayuki! Masayuki! What the hell? Was this a religion or what? I felt like I was getting a glimpse of something terrifying. Masayuki answered the chanting with a raised hand as he exited. His motion was a bit awkward looking, which struck me as curious. What a strange kid. Why does he get all this praise heaped up upon him?
Understood. It is believed that this is the effect of a unique skill possessed by the subject, Masayuki Honjo.
Just when I thought some things in the world couldn't be explained, Raphael stepped up and explained them for me.
You
I guess the
goddamn right.
professor was... right? I guess the professor was doing a little analytical work on him.
Hell yeah.
Apparently... Apparently, Masayuki's skill, when it takes effect, could manipulate the thoughts and feelings of people under its spell. He just forfeited his championship because he saw how powerful Gobta had become, I suppose. And given how he'd won over Bovik yesterday, I imagine Masayuki hadn't thought he could beat him either. I thought back to his performance so far, based on this new assumption. As far as I could recall, it was like he couldn't even react to what his foes were doing, could he? No wonder he never took out his sword. I
Yep.
suppose the conclusion to make was that Masayuki himself couldn't fight very well. Hinata said she couldn't read his strength at all, and I could see why. There was no strength to read.
Exactly.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's where we're stopping with you. You've gone on for almost the entire hour now. Good
I'm
job.
sorry.
No, you're good. You're
Beautiful.
good. Good job. Good job.
Thanks.
Unfortunately, because I guess us interrupting at times,
It's all good.
we did not chew as much as I was hoping for.
I'm sorry. I was too busy laughing. And that, but you know.
Oh man. All right, we're 283 versus
Mhm.
236.
Mhm.
Man, all right. So we started at 221.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna carry us on for half an hour. All right,
Yep.
Okay.
where are we at today? Where are we at?
Still, it wasn't
Uh,
safe to look down.
Still, it wasn't safe to look down. All right, still, it wasn't safe to look down on him. If he could, if he could influence the people around him that much, making him your enemy could be seriously dangerous. Definitely not someone to trifle with. If anything, I think I need to stay on his good side. Maybe I could threaten him like, I know your secret. Nah, just joking. I bet he was racking his brain trying to figure out how to deal with Bovix later. No way his friends would let him weasel out of that rematch. Maybe I'd offer him some sympathy. I could help prop him up as a hero even. I'd certainly be it'd certainly be helpful advertising the Labyrinth Challenge to people. Soe, make contact with Masayuki and tell him I want to meet him tell him I want to meet him.
At once.
Keep it courteous, okay? If you could invite him to lunch after this, then perfect. As a fellow native of Japan, I'd like to talk to him anyway. I'll ask Kakuro to whip up some sushi. Hopefully this hunch of mine turns out to be true. While I was thinking about Masayuki, Gobta was finally coming too. As he did, Soka and Diablo, after some deliberation, apparently decided to accept Masayuki's request. Today's been a cavalcade of unexpected events, but with Masayuki's withdrawal, Gobta is our champion! I could hear jeering from pockets of the crowd. Yeah, I'd be disappointed too. Here we were, the big final, and we'd gotten a champion who gave up and a half-wolf who almost killed himself. If I paid good money to see this, I'd find it totally valid to demand a refund. Luckily for me, they were in the minority. Masayuki made that decision himself, and nobody was blaming me for it. I imagine Gobta proved his strength well enough that nobody was too dissatisfied with the result. Of course, Gobta was still the heel in everyone's mind, and with his antics today, that rep would be set in stone. So, Gobta, how are you feeling right now? Huh? Really? I won? You sure did. And you really put in an excellent performance today. Yeah, right. All Gobta did was trip over himself and get knocked out, and Soka was trying her hardest to rev him up. Regardless, though, the fight was over. Afterward, I stepped back into the arena and gave out awards to each of the competitors, offering all 8 of them my thanks and praising their performances. I also gave Masayuki's friend Jinrai the set of equipment I promised him. Gay said, "Give that to me, too," when he saw it for some reason, but we had no such agreement, so I ignored him. Masayuki also agreed to my offer of a meeting. He looked more resolute to me now, but he didn't have the wrong idea about this, did he? If there was any misunderstanding, I'd take the time to unravel it for him. That left Gobta. You did well, Gobta. I hereby name you a member of the Big Four as of today. He had taken a pretty rocky road on his way to it, but a championship was a championship. As promised, I appointed him to the Big Four. A title Gobta would no doubt find quite alluring. From now on, if he ever lost to anyone, I could just say, "Hehehe, he's the weakest of the Big Four, a disgrace to his team," and people would accept it. It was the perfect role for him, one that no doubt made Gobta seem pretty cute and charming. In fact, it was almost too perfect for him, scarily so. Thank you, I'll keep doing my best. And with that, the first Tempest Battle tournament came to a close. If only it really was over for Gobta, but his personal hell was just beginning. Okay, are we ready now? 'Cause I'm gonna start training him hard. Milam was beaming at me when we returned to the VIP boxes. Oh, sure. Don't overdo it, okay? Nothing to worry about. He'll undergo my special training inside the labyrinth so he can die all he wants to. Ah, yes, she could use it like that, huh? I wasn't sure Gobta would see that as much of a consolation. All I can say is it's going to be tough for him. Not even death would offer sweet release for him. Just thinking about it made me shiver. Gobta, can we talk over here for a moment? Milla marched right over to Gobta and picked him up with one hand. Pya!
There was so much strength fused in her arm. I was surprised I didn't hear any bones crunching. Milim was smiling, but her eyes sure weren't. Congrats on the win, but that last match was pitiful. I'm not going to let that one slide. It's time to start training you. Milim really enjoyed Gupta's transformation, which was why his subsequent lame brain acts angered her so much. Her reaction made it clear that her expectations and excitement had been deeply soured. You'll be facing off against me personally. You're going to be stronger in no time.
Oh,
Whoa!
God.
Lady Milim, I didn't ask for that. Gupta was panicking. I doubt anyone was listening to his input. This is a good opportunity for you, Gupta. Oh, this is a good opportunity for you, Gupta, Hakuro said with a forceful smile. I want you to put everything you have into training with her. Master, are you selling me off? Silence, Milim said, shutting him down before he could finish. How cruel. Ho, ho, ho! Don't make a disgrace of yourself like that, Gupta. This is all for your sake. I wasn't sure Gupta was listening to Hakuro any longer. This was him getting back at Gupta for acting like such a clown in front of Momiji. I bet. It definitely wasn't for his sake. Thus, Gupta was now Milim's property. I turned my attention to the other party involved in this stunt. My master! My teamwork with Sir Gupta brought us the championship! Ranga ran up to me, abandoning Gupta without a second thought. Smart of him. He didn't want to get caught in the crossfire at all. Unfortunately, there was no fleeing from Milim. Hold it! Ranga was your name, right? Gupta can't complete his training without you. Huh? Ranga looked at me, his eyes pleading. Sorry, man. Once Milim gets an idea in her head, she tunes out everybody else. Besides, he was the one who went into battle without my permission, so he had this coming. I didn't see any need to help him. Don't worry, I won't do you no harm. And with that, Milim strode off, dragging Gupta and Ranga behind her. I can already hear the dog whining.
Yeah.
I can already hear
Claws dragging. Yeah, just
claws just dragging. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. Oh.
Really, I thought Gupta relied too much on his own good luck. Hold on a second. I got notifications. Okay. And they're all from Previewed. All right, cool. I'll check those out later. All right, cool. Back to can't have Shaggy without Scoob. That's true.
It's true.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I thought Gupta relied too much on his own good luck. That and Ranga had a tendency to fight on instinct. If they could polish their skills a bit and work with each other more, that transformation could really be something formidable. You know? Milim must have thought to train them because she spotted that. Here's hoping they'd work on that bit by bit and gain something concrete from it. I'd be expecting big things from Gupta and Milim's from Gupta, and Milim's the girl who'd bring that there, or who'd bring them there. Farewell, Gupta. Farewell, Ranga. I'll never forget your courage.
Oh
I vowed to say a prayer for them as I saw them leave with Milim.
no.
I feel
Those
like
poor fuckers.
I feel like it's a funeral moment. It's like
I know. That's almost worse than just dying because you condemn them to like
make sure to put up a little shrine.
It's not
in
just
Tempest.
death. It's
Oh.
repeat death.
Oh yeah,
They're
yeah,
going
you
through,
basically condemn them to Ray Zero.
yeah.
No,
You Ray Zero them, dude.
Yeah, at this point it wouldn't be Re-Zero.
No,
it
it wouldn't
be,
be
what was
ReZero
that
because-
Tom Cruise movie?
No, you can't.
Fucking
Day
Live,
after
Die, Repeat.
Live,
Day
Di-
after tomorrow. That's
day
it.
after, yeah, day
Yeah,
after
yeah.
tomorrow. Here's the thing.
That's
Here's
what
the
they're
thing,
going
guys. Here's the thing, guys. Because in ReZero, you at least got a rim.
Yeah.
There
That's
is
true.
there is no best girl in this situation. It's just hell.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
just
hell.
the dead.
Just the deads. And now I am
Just
the
the dying.
deads.
Mhm.
Like, all right. It was time for lunch. A lunch. It was time for lunch. A lunch I'd now be spending with Masayuki. This was nothing that fancy, really. I told him I wanted to speak with him alone. The rest of his group could stand by in a separate room. We had a little trouble earlier, but I was sure Masayuki could smooth things over with them later. Well,
good to make your acquaintance, I guess. My name's Masayuki Hanjo, and people call me Lightspeed and the hero and stuff. Yeah, he was blushing a bit. Yeah, calling yourself the hero in our world would be about the most embarrassing thing ever. People would think you're a thoughtless moron if you tried it. I'm sure it made him feel creepy. That, and it looked like he was worried how I'd react to him. He remembered how he promised to defeat me. Technically, he didn't. Although that was mostly just his friends egging him on. This must have been awkward for him. I'm a demon lord, after all. He had to be scared out of his wits, fearing he'd picked a fight with a foe out of his league. He was no doubt conflicted, but he didn't need to worry about me. I was ready to leave the past where it belonged, in the past. A nice meal together would help us work out our issues. Yeah, I know, we spoke before. But it's nice to meet you too. I'm Rimuru, a demon lord. But my real name's Satoru Mikami. I used to work for a building contractor. Masayuki wasn't too keen on touching his food, so I decided to just blurt it out. I hadn't used that name in a long while, but it still felt like it fit me. A lot more than I anticipated. But, it wasn't like I was hiding it. I just never had a chance to use it much. Huh? Are you Japanese? Masayuki didn't quite seem to believe me, and yeah, I did look kind of like a cute little girl at the moment. I couldn't blame him. Yeah, more or less, but let's talk about that over lunch, all right? That finally inspired him to pick up his chopsticks. This is okay for me to eat? Of course. I had them whip up something Japanese for you. Sushi and tempura were on the menu today. They had wowed Hinata earlier, and I thought Masayuki would be just as grateful. He hadn't been part of our pre-festival banquet, so I was sure it'd be the first time he'd seen sushi in years. This isn't like my last meal before my execution, is it? No, you seem sensible. We're from the same place. I just want to be friends with you. Seeing this spread must have given him the completely wrong idea. Maybe he thought this was the last meal he'd eaten his whole life. I told him it was from Japan, but he still doubted me. Well, all right. He finally took a bite, and the moment he did, he fell silent. His eyes looked different now, and his chopsticks in his mouth sprang into motion. He was so focused on his meal that it didn't seem like the right time to start talking, so I waited until he was done. And the moment
now
he was...
really turned into Goku.
And the moment he does, all right, Rimuru, I'll gladly become your servant. I had no idea where this came from. I mean, I could tell he was starving for good Japanese food, but I hadn't even said anything yet. Besides, he must have had his own thoughts about me. Servant? No, it's fine. I don't have anything keeping me from abandoning this hero crap. It's just embarrassing when they do that Masayuki chant, and really, I've been constantly trying to figure out how to escape from all this. This sounded like the real Masayuki here, and as I enjoyed some post-meal tea, I let him tell me his story. Masayuki was a pretty smart kid in his old world, going to a high school that put most of its grads into college. He liked reading manga and light novels, something he kept a secret, and complained to me about how it must have led to this for him. My skill's called Chosen One, you know? And it's just so stupid. I like how even he recognizes that it's so broken.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Even he is like, this is a stupid, broken skill, and I don't like it. He's like, when the user is like, I don't like this skill, it's so dumb. Alright, yeah. He wanted to be a hero, and as he saw it, that's why he wound up here. And his skill, Chosen One, was about what I figured it was. It let him naturally guide the thoughts of those around him, almost like brainwashing. And that's what brought him to herodom. This ability was beyond his control. He couldn't turn it off even if he wanted to. That's not too user-friendly. Or maybe it's a little too much so. Maybe it is, but that doesn't mean it's not incredible. You would have won the championship if you didn't bow out. The tournament was ample proof of this skill that this skill worked. Victory was his if he wanted it. Yeah, but it's only caused me trouble. I do nothing and people just make all these assumptions about me. That was the whole way I won over in Inglacia, too. As he put it, he let that get to his head. Even with his efforts crushing the Orthus crime ring, he didn't actually do anything. People just treat him like a king. He could completely give up and things still worked out his way. So life was generally pretty easy for him. The experience at this tournament, though, made him realize that if this ever failed, even once, it'd end his life. And that was why he decided it was time for a reality check. And I thought he was right. But would Chosen One affect me? Understood. Against ultimate skills, nearly all lower-level skills are cancelled. And that's why that motherfucker don't work on Rimuru. That some bitch has 4 goddamn ultimate skills.
Jesus Christ.
Rimuru is so
Speaking of
fucking broken.
And Chosen One is a lower level skill than that.
Here's my thing.
Speaking of,
Here's my thing.
Oh, God.
He's like, Masayuki's like, woe is me. I have a broken skill. Meanwhile, 4 broken skills. Rimuru.
wait a minute, real talk. If he became his servant, would he actually have access to that as well?
If he
Would Rimuru actually have?
no, because he not monster shared genealogy.
Okay, gotcha. I was gonna say
Not
like
monster shared genealogy.
mm,
Unless there's some kind of bullshit contract between them that actually gives him that lets him do that. If there is, then fuck, you think Masayuki's broken now? Holy shit!
Although,
Actually, here's the other thing. With Food Chain, you think Rimuru's broken now? You give Rimuru access to Chosen One, and you give Rimuru an evolved version of Chosen One?
I was fixing to say Raphael could copy it.
No,
so-
it's not just a matter of copy. Raphael could evolve that sumbitch.
Oh, that'd be so much fun.
Guys, do you understand?
Just Rimuru thinks one thing, and immediately Soe pops up. Here you are, Sir Rimuru.
yeah.
Every time,
Here you are.
every fucking. Here's the thing. Do you understand how much all these monsters already worship him?
Yeah.
You want to
Already
give
The
revered.
entire world immediately converts to Rimuru.
everybody already kind of fucking worships Rimuru based on just on the moves he makes already. Fucking Diablo already kind of worship. You want to make it worse?
Beings from distant planets that don't even know him
No,
worship
the
him.
angels show up and are suddenly all like, no, you're good.
You're good.
The
We're done.
angels show
We're done
up.
here. We're
The
done.
angels show up with an armada and all these weapons, and they're like, "We bring cookies."
The cookies of peace.
Oh God, I kind of want to see how that plays out now. I know it'd make for a really boring story, but it'd just be funny reading just how crazy exaggerated the universe bends to him.
The universe bends to Rimuru. It's just over.
Like even more
All
so.
right. So it does.
Same,
All right.
anyway.
So here we go. So it doesn't affect me. Good, because I intend to go easy on him anyway. But I didn't realize he was complete amateur in battle. I bet even a quick jab from me would be disastrous. He literally. Here's the thing. He's kind of just osmosis picked up everything, but he is a fucking weakling. He needs some basic ass combat practice. So here's what we do. We put him through the Hakuro classes. He needs to train with the kiddos.
Yes.
Straight
Yep.
up. Yeah. And then later we can put him through, like, once he graduates through the different levels of Hakuro school, then we take him to Milim studies. Train him to be an actual fucking hero. Yeah. Like, at this point, he couldn't hold a candle with the king of
Mars.
Farminus. Farminus now.
Yeah.
What's his name? The new
Farminus,
king
yeah.
of Farminus. Yeah.
Oh,
Couldn't hold a king with him.
Yom.
Yom.
Right?
Yo,
Couldn't.
that's it.
Yeah. He couldn't hold a fucking candle to Yom at this point.
Yome's pretty skilled, though, so I mean...
Yom is kind of skilled, but he's
Yeah.
kind of considered a B rank.
Yeah, that's fair, but still.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he wouldn't be
Alright.
able to even... Anyway.
Anyway, but I gotta tell you, living in Tempest is the safest place for fucking Masayuki to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like there
He's
is
a main
no
character,
like
right?
like he has never been more protected. That's like living in the fucking White House, bruh. Like you have never
Not
been
even.
in, you have never been more protected. And the moment that Masayuki was like, Brahma work with Rimuru, every fucking one of he's like, I have signed up. I am on Team Rimuru now.
Honestly, the smartest choice he could ever
Dude,
make.
every one of those monsters turned around and was like, the fucking hero is on Team Rimuru. We got his back. So
Ladies
it's like,
and gentlemen, we got him.
it was like, dude, everybody like went and talked to him. They met with him. They shook his hand. And it was the craziest thing. It was like the craziest thing. It was like, all right, we can run background checks and everything. And then once they realized that he was like serious about it was like, it's kind of like one of those things. It was like, it's like, imagine if you will, that Diablo goes around and says, if you dare touch a hair on this boy's head, I will fucking end your entire country.
Yeah,
Like-
he's
like-
safe.
Like, it's kind of that vibe. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah,
we're going to
he's-
train these guys.
good.
So, and here's the other thing. The dungeon is kind of a glorified training ground. So if you
Mhm.
want to help this boy level up, that's a good place to do it. If you want to give
Throw him into the
basic-
dungeon on repeat.
World.
if you want
Yeah.
to give this boy some combat experience, that's a good way to do it. So there you go.
Yeah, no fear of death and like constant retries. Yeah,
Mm.
it's
Mm.
amazing.
Although,
Anyway, let's keep going. Where was I? So it doesn't affect me.
Well, you
may-
made the right choice.
Well, you made the right choice, and probably at the last moment possible. I think you should be proud of that. You think? But Gopta transformed into that terrifying thing, and I didn't need brains to realize I could never beat it. I wasn't so sure about that, actually. A pretty decent chunk of people were taking Gopta on regularly. But yeah, Masayuki did the right thing. So we chatted some more, giving each other our stories and backgrounds. For the most part, though, I just gave a quick rundown of my life, spending more time listening to Masayuki talk. His friends worshipped him like a god, so he couldn't really speak frankly with them. He had nobody to vent to except Yuki, and his busy schedule made it difficult to meet up. It made the stress and irritation accumulate. Basically, he revealed everything about himself to me without me having to ask any questions. Well, I'd like to hear more from you, but my lunch break is just about over. So let me ask you this. What are you going to do now? How do you mean? I mean, you promised Bovix a rematch, right? Are you going to tackle the dungeon? Ah! I guess Masayuki had forgotten all about it. He must have been planning to promptly skip town. Well, what should I do? Don't worry. Bovix was only guarding the area around floor 50, and the dungeon's super huge, so it's going to take a few days just to make it that far. Oh, so if I pretend to tackle it, I'll make it through today at least. Exactly. And all the dignitaries here right now are going to leave town tomorrow. The festival ran for 3 days. The highways were going to be packed with people tomorrow, so we'd mainly be working to keep traffic smooth. The real cleanup work wouldn't start for 2 days, once all the visitors were gone. The big dungeon opening today was mainly a demonstration for the royalty and nobility in town. A pre-unveiling, really, or a temporary opening until it began normal operation. Thus, I didn't think anyone would go more than a few floors down in the several hours it was open today. Besides, I also had an idea about that battle between Masayuki and Bovix. Not to disappoint him, but I didn't want Masayuki to get defeated. Since I had him here and all, I wanted him to function like a living, breathing billboard for me. Leading the... Yeah!
of course.
Hold on.
How sad.
Dude, I'm telling you, the dungeon is so fucking interesting how they work this dungeon. Like, all the dungeon stuff over the next several volumes, you're gonna love how the dungeon keeps evolving and, like, all the cool stuff that revolves around the dungeon. It's going to be so much fun.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
But I didn't want Masayuki to get defeated since I was planning to since I had him here and all. I wanted him to function as like a living, breathing billboard for me, leading the dungeon conquering adventurers down and getting them enthused about tackling the challenge. So I'd like you to grab people's attention for me, but do you think you can do that? Wow, that's pretty reassuring to hear. That's why you gave Jinrai all that great equipment, huh? And personally, if screwing up in there won't kill me, I could tackle the labyrinth worry-free. Sounds perfect. He gladly pledged his support. I'd meant nothing out of the sort with Jinrai's gift, but that certainly worked out well too. Going into the dungeon de facto topless was just asking to be killed. And I'll be glad to leak some hints about conquering the dungeon too. If you can use them to get down pretty far for me, that'd be great. Also, if you see anything you think we could improve, don't be shy about telling me. I wouldn't offer any help going beyond floor 50. We wanted to keep things on the up and up here, so I advised him to keep that in mind. But even there, he'd never die as long as he held on to his resurrection bracelet, so it was all good. Sounds great. I feel like I'm beta testing a game or something. Ah, now that you mention it, it is kind of like that. But no need to knock yourself out today. Try to reach like floor 5 or thereabouts. A game, huh? That's an interesting observation to make. Motherfucker, you know that's what you were doing.
A game, huh?
Da-
Like
da-
video
da-
kind?
da- da-
Video game.
da- 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 da-
Gotcha.
da- 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 da-
Alright,
da-
Alright, Masayuki said with a refreshing smile. I'm glad we got to talk to each other, Rimuru. It's really put my mind at ease. Now I'm starting to think this world isn't so bad after all. His skill had made things pretty easy for him before now, but he was still anxious a lot of the time. Having someone pledge their support for him must have eased his worries. That, and our nation was at the cutting edge of technology in this world. Our baths and toilets made our accommodations far better than anywhere else, and the variety and quality of the food here must have surprised him too. We have that orchestra, and we're teaching painting to people. Pretty soon I plan to get some theater productions going. I want to have fun here. And I'm not going to skimp out on investing in that stuff. I really respect you, Rimuru. What about manga? Of course we'll have manga, Masayuki. That's a longer way away, but nobody else is gonna do it, so... Whoa! I'll follow you wherever you go, Rimuru! And so Masayuki decided to remain in town for the time being. I plan to stay in close touch with him, passing on information and such. Hopefully, we could have these talks regularly. I wanted to kick back and ask him about our old world, too. It'd be a nice nostalgia trip. That, and I wanted to prod his memory for manga. He was keenly curious about my collection, and I definitely hoped to stay on good terms with him. Now I had a new friend. All right. You're taking over, Moon.
Our dungeon was finally slated to open this afternoon.
Yay!
And I decided to perform one last check beforehand, just in case. Heading down to the open area at the bottommost floor, I was greeted by Ramirez, who came flying right up to me. We're just about to open things up, but how's it all going? Ha! Who do you think I am, huh? She certainly sounded confident, and Veldora, lumbering out from his room, seemed pretty proud of himself too. Quahahaha! Fear not, Rimuru! We have overlooked nothing! Uh-oh. I was suddenly very worried. Whoa, are you sure about that? I don't want you guys doing anything stupid during the unveiling today, okay? No worries. Just leave it all to us. I activated every safety feature. But starting tomorrow, the labyrinth will bear its fangs. Ramirez and Veldora looked at each other and sneered. Were they really gonna be okay? Because they weren't assuaging my fears at all. I'm gonna say this just in case you forgot, but we're closing the labyrinth right after this, okay? What? Why was Veldora saying what to me? I told him as much several times before, but I suppose he wasn't listening. After seeing how today turned out, I wanted to fine-tune the labyrinth's difficulty levels. Thus, my plan was to close things up for 2 or 3 days, then reopen after that. We also hadn't worked out admission prices yet, and we needed trained personnel in place to sell the labyrinth cards, i.e., the tickets and other items. We didn't have the free time or people for that so far, but I wanted to talk it over with Malamile after we finished the post-festival cleanup. Looking back, maybe it was a mistake to leave the final details to this pair. I mean, Ramirez and Veldora looked like they were having fun, and I was busy anyway, but man, they were paying no attention at our meetings. But I didn't want to yell at them either. Everyone was a little flustered right now. Calm down, okay? I'll do my best to get us officially open as soon as possible, so just sit tight until then.
Okay. I will trust in you, Rimuru.
Great. That ought to get us through today. Oh, but I almost forgot. I had something extremely important to ask. By the way,
By the way, is Milliman here?
she is. Yep, she took two unlimited use resurrection bracelets from us and ran off. That was whatever, too late. Ah, and I gave her control over floors 96 to 99, right? The dragon chambers with the elemental effect floors and everything. That's right. She has been putting a great deal of work into them.
She sure has. And she even gave me the rights to the dragons she caught for those floors. She said that if we raise them right and they evolve into dragon lords, they'll be intelligent enough to understand my commands.
Oh no.
Ramirez was all smiles. I guess in her mind, even Milim had some good facets to her. What's that, Milim? I wish they put names to these.
I know. You almost
The
have to
sight
like
of-
read.
Way
ahead,
ahead,
sorry.
and then...
then
and that's
go
on the
back.
next page for me, so I would have had to flip to the next page and then go back.
Mm-hmm.
The sight of Milim flying through the air, carrying captured dragons in her arms, must have given anyone who saw her quite a shock. Apparently, we'd received complaints about it the first 2 times, but people got used to it from the 3rd time onward. I guess our town's residents just accepted it as normal. Milim had found for us 4 dragons in all: a fire dragon, frost dragon, wind dragon, and earth dragon. These were elemental arch dragons, just as Milim had promised us. And even now, they were about as intelligent as your typical farm animal. Give them care like you would any pet, and it'd be possible to connect with them. Huh? Did you put collars on them or anything? For now, yes. These are my beloved servants, so I want to be darn sure we set up a clear master and servant relationship. I see. Ramirez was certainly thinking deeply about this, and what I heard sounded good enough to me. But back to the main topic. So is Milim in the dragon chambers right now? Yep. She said she found some playmates to help my servants stay in shape.
Oh.
Mm.
Indeed. I believe I went fishing with one of them once. But how is someone like him going to play with a dragon?
You're better off not knowing, I think. But all I needed was Milim's current location. If she was toiling away near the bottom of the labyrinth, I doubt she'd meddle with our opening at all. Right, she probably won't get in the way then, so I'm fine with that. We're about to open the labyrinth right now, so can you come up top for me? Yep, I'd be happy to, chirped Ramirez.
I will pass. It is the role of the Labyrinth Master to await its challengers.
Look, I told you, nobody's gonna make it to the bottom in one day. In fact, you'd probably have to wait many days before anyone shows up. I refrained from telling him this, however. That's so kind of me. Great, well, good luck then. Leaving Veldora with some encouragement, I took Ramirez along as we teleported to the chamber up top. With lunch over, a large number of people had arrived at their seats. Ramirez and I were there to greet them. Welcome back, Sir Rimuru, Diablo said, smiling. He was done with his refereeing work, and I heard he was looking for me. I gave him a quick nod and hello of my own, then switched gears and took a look at our program. I had a lot of expectations for the dungeon we were opening. It was one of the centerpieces of our nation's future development, so I wanted as many of our visitors to explore it as possible. Fortunately, it seemed like few to none of our invitees decided to take an early leave after lunch. The hall was nearly full, so I thought this would function as pretty decent advertising. Turning toward the event space, I could see Soka and Malamile, the latter of whom would take Diablo's place as guide and announcer during this event. It was time to go, so I gave them both my signal. All right, the time has come. The final event of Day 3 of the Founders Festival is about to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. We are about to show you a small portion of our impregnable dungeon, one of Tempest's greatest achievements. It is the ultimate challenge for adventurers, presented by our leader, the Demon Lord Rimuru. Will anybody out there be able to conquer it?
Marlamile was giving this spiel from center stage, mic in hand. He wasn't quite as much of a natural as this Ahsoka, but he looked well enough in his element. What he had to say was this. Running a demonstration of the labyrinth was well and good, but taking all the visitors here inside the dungeon was too dangerous. There were several hundred members of the ruling class in here. Add our more nearby residents, and the number became several thousand. A crowd that size crammed into the labyrinth would be far too unruly to guide around. Instead, we'd come up with the idea of sending several parties down there and showing their progress on a large screen. That presented a few technological challenges, but we had already succeeded at providing a clear picture on a huge screen at the battle tournament, and we could use the same tech for this. The projector that Gabiru Investor built was proving useful for a variety of purposes. It's what we'd used to display the battles on screen earlier, via a video recording crystal ball stored inside the machine. This crystal was inscribed with magical communication spells that let it receive images recorded far away and project them here, allowing the audience to watch the challenges from a safe distance and enjoy the entertainment. Getting a king or prince injured would be a huge problem. As a result, only a few selected parties would actually be experiencing the labyrinth today. And so, a smiling Soka shouted, "We'd now like to open the labyrinth up to adventurers. Are there any members of the audience courageous enough to delve into the dungeon we're proud to offer you?" That was our cue. Ramirez, perched on my shoulder, summoned a temporary doorway to the labyrinth in the center of the stage. We could have just brought any challengers down to the basement here, but it was important to put a show for things like this. Ooh. See? The crowd was amazed, just as I hoped they'd be. A quiet sort of excitement was taking root among them, the adventurers in the audience sizing up one another. We were strictly accepting volunteers today, and if possible, I wanted to see a lot of participants, and even if nobody raised their hand, we still had Masayuki's group. That was part of why I wanted to negotiate with him earlier. He had already explained matters to his friends, and they were on standby right now. I had given them a map of the first 5 floors to ensure against any mistakes. Hopefully, they'd serve as the advertising pitchmen I wanted. So, would we see any volunteers? As it turned out, my concerns were for nothing.
I don't know what a Demon Lord's labyrinth is all about, but I'm ready to rip the facade from it. You might think you've cowed us all, what with that phony battle tournament and everything, but you won't get us this time. Yeah, Basson's right. If the highway wasn't so jammed, Basson would have won the whole tournament. You're not forgetting about me, are you? Ah, don't be that way, Gomez. They know all about how strong you are. As long as you and I are together, our great lightning team's got nothing to fear.
Oh? Looks like we've got all kinds of challengers. This Basson guy must have shown up too late to join the tournament. If he was around to see it, he should have known full well how powerful the competitors were. But with a couple of matches forfeited, the quality of the fighting was admittedly hit or miss. I was sure there were a ton of people like Basson who assumed they were invincible and so on. But that was fine. I figured we'd see a few skeptics who refused to believe in any of this. Those would be our future customers, after all. And Masayuki Wait, what?
Who is this?
Oh, that's Basson. Yeah.
Basson? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Masayuki the hero wasn't anyone special in the end either, was he? He's strong, I'll grant you that. But in a fight, you gotta see it through to the end. Letting the Demon Lord of this country off the hook like that? How half-hearted of him. It sickens me.
He admitted that Masayuki was strong? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, this so-called labyrinth is a big con job, and Basson and I are gonna expose it for what it is right now.
Basson's group certainly had gusto.
I refuse to allow them to berate you like this, Sir Rimuru.
Let me go over and shut them up a bit. Halt! I couldn't let my guard down. Shion was irritated, and Diablo came this close to going out of control. I hurriedly stopped them, but at least they didn't threaten to kill them this time. They're just a little overconfident, okay? Besides, I think it'll be more fun if we get people like them. They might be a little dumb, I thought, but they were the right people for this job. Shion and Diablo nodded their agreement. I was used to handling them by now. Basson was a fighter with a shaved head. Gomez a sorcerer in a black robe. They had 4 others in their party, none of them worth writing home about. This sextet would be our first challengers. Then someone unexpected spoke up. We'll take the challenge. 3 people jumped out of the audience. I thought I'd seen them before. Wait, is that Ellen? Oh, God.
Oh, no.
I was having Ellen's trio help with the founding of Yom's new nation. They were going around the free guild locations in the former Farmus, and I had asked them to aid Yom however they could. A B-ranked adventurer was a fearsome presence in itself, and Ellen's party was now rated B+. They were allowed to cross national borders unhindered, so I figured this was the perfect job for them. They hadn't joined Yom on the way here, so I assumed they had gone back home or something. But no, I had no idea they were planning this. In fact, they must have been hiding it so Archduke Errol didn't stop them. We're really going to do it? Oh, of course we are. I haven't had any adventures lately, so I've been waiting for this. Let me ask, as leader, I have the right to say no, right? Right? No? Not at all. It's already set in stone. Crazy. I felt so bad for Cabal, and I thought I'd just heard Errol screaming over in the other room, only to fall silent to the sound of something smashing.
Good.
I could picture what had happened, but chose not to. Hopefully, at least, Ellen would be done before her father woke up. Our third party here was led by Masayuki, hero of the day. They all calmly strode on stage, greeting the audience with smiles. Masayuki, Masayuki!
Good job with that muffled scream, by the way.
Yeah, that was great.
Thank you.
That was wonderful.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. Yes, all right, they hear you. The applause in the room was deafening. What a stud he is. Counting Masayuki, there were 4 people in the party, including the formerly topless Jinrai clad in the armor I'd given him. A suit of mithril armor, crafted by Garm and rated as a rare on the scale. It was heavier than Yom's exo armor, and not quite as effective, but just as durable. It even gave the wearer anti-poison effects. I had also given Masayuki a rapier as a present. I'd asked him over lunch why he never drew his sword, and he flatly replied, well, it's heavy, so... Honestly, I was shocked by how much of a blubber he was. To draw your sword, it's fucking heavy, okay? He had some kendo experience, but none with actual swords. And besides, in this world, slicing Japanese katanas weren't as popular as heavy skull-crushing blades, so they were all gonna have a little heft on them. As he told me, even striking a pose with a sword for a long time was difficult for him. So I gave him this rapier, advising him to try working out a little more as well. This blade was a discarded version of the one I gave to Hinata. It had the same light weight and strength, but not her sword's unique trait of always killing your opponent on the 7th landed attack. Just swinging this thing around was enough work for Masayuki. He didn't need that sort of advanced feature anyway. Plus, the rapier also remedied exhaustion for its user to some extent. If all Masayuki would do was strike a pose and keep it steady, this sword was more than enough. So the party of 4 was soaking in the cheers from the audience, none of whom questioned their change in equipment. We planned to set a time limit of 3 hours calculated back from my intended goal of keeping anyone from going past floor 5. Masayuki's party had a map, giving them an advantage over the others, and I was counting on them to advertise the labyrinth for me.
Bold of you to assume 5 is the lowest they'll delve, you dumbass.
So 3 parties then? That didn't seem like too many. But of course, a lot of people would think twice about challenging a shady demon lord-run labyrinth. We needed to address and quell that hesitation with this demo today. But just as I was about to move the show along, wait, I'll join in too!
Oh, God.
A man clad entirely in black appeared on stage. Guy, the flowing swordsman.
You've done a fine job trapping me in your bluffs of trickery, haven't you? The
Huh?
Demon Lord's Big Four, or whatever they call.
I had to be that one audience member in the background. Huh? Gay?
Like right in the very, very back. Good.
Oh
Nice.
God.
Had to. Sorry.
The Demon Lord's Big Four, or whatever they're called, certainly play dirty, do they not? I can understand if they're afraid of my talents, but they picked a fight with the wrong foe. You can scheme all you want, but I'm about to crush your ambitions for good. Quite an introduction. I was wondering what he was doing here, and now I knew. I guess. Basically, he couldn't understand how Ranga had beaten him and decided it was all a trap. He assumed I was up to something no good with this labyrinth, and now he was standing up to stop me in my tracks, I guess. And yes, I was up to something, but probably not the things Guy was picturing, or gay, whatever, I don't fucking... Right. This time I'm going to chop his little... Yeah, get him, Diablo. Oh, no. Right. This time I'm going to chop his little... Yeah, get him, Diablo. No, don't get him. And stop imitating my voice, Shio. Yeah, get him, Diablo. Oh, shit.
Good.
These people, I swear.
What do you mean?
Why were
these
they
people?
always like this? Whenever someone said something about me, they just give them no mercy. And Shion was getting so sensitive to every affront, too. Imagined or not. Maybe it was time I thought of some more serious measures for her. But whatever.
Gay?
Gay looked like he wanted to go solo on this. But was he gonna be okay? I was honestly concerned. On the other hand, it'd be nice to get a sample of how a lone adventurer would fare in the labyrinth. We might as well make him the fourth party today. Now that we had our challengers, the long-awaited moment was here. It was time to open the dungeon. There wasn't much time to work with, so all four parties would be going in at once. Soka would stay here to commentate on the on-screen action. Inside guidance would be best handled by the Dryads, who'd also serve as cameramen, as they accompanied each party. We didn't have many of them, but there were a few. Trainee, Treya, and Doroth included. The others were young and inexperienced in battle, but boasted tremendous magical force. Under Ramirez's management, they'd make for perfect labyrinth managers. These four people, Soka said, are the curators of our labyrinth. Normally, they will not accompany parties entering the dungeon, but for today's run, we'll have one shadowing each of them. The quartet gave their hellos to the crowd. These were named Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and Delta. Not having names would be inconvenient, so I just pulled those out of my head. It didn't cost me any magicules, since Dryads are high-level monsters. I could have them consume their own magic force for the job. Ramirez was their boss, so all I did was help come up with their names. As sisters, they all had the same looks, so telling them apart via visuals alone was a challenge. Monsters often rely on things like magical waveforms to identify individuals, but I thought that was asking a lot of humans, so names were more helpful. If you guys run into any trouble, feel free to ask them for advice. And now, let me run down the rules for you all. First, I'm going to give these to everyone. Soka pulled out a couple of items. Alpha and the other Dryads giving the same ones to each party. These items here, you see, we're planning to offer for sale when people enter the labyrinth. Does everybody have them now? As she spoke, each item was shown in a close-up on the screen. This pseudo-television technology was really helpful for stuff like this. Currently, it was showing a set of 10 high potions, 1 full potion, and a bunch of resurrection bracelets, and return whistles. These had been provided for free during today's beta test. If they were kind enough to volunteer, I didn't mind giving them some compensation. The Dryad chaperones would have some backup items too, just in case, so they could get whisked to safety if things went south. Given the size of this thing, it was entirely possible that a party wouldn't get out of floor 1 in the time allotted. Even if they took the shortest path to the stairway down, we're talking a literal mile or so of walking. And given that this was a maze, they were going to be covering much more distance than that. For the next 3 hours,
It'd be best if the parties tried just hard enough to keep the audience entertained. And once time expired, they'd use their items to get back up top. Give me a sec. Oh,
All good.
jeez. I had other rewards for them too, of course, for advertising purposes. I had some treasure chests set up containing souvenirs in the form of decent armor and so on. During actual operation, these chests wouldn't show up until floor 2 onward. But we were being generous today. Finally, Soka explained the most important item in the lot. Now we take a look at this item. This is known as a resurrection bracelet, and we highly recommend you purchase this when you enter our labyrinth. What does it do? Believe it or not, it resurrects you from the dead. The crowd immediately began chattering about this. Impossible! I could hear few of them shout out. Ladies and gentlemen, quiet please. This is important, so I want to be sure everybody's paying attention, all right? The key thing here is that this item only works if you are inside Tempest's dungeon. It doesn't do anything at all outside the labyrinth, and given the stakes involved, we want to be absolutely sure everyone's aware of that. Always remember that at all times. This doesn't work outside. That was important. If someone assumed otherwise, it'd make for some sad scenes if they tried using it and failed. I didn't want people to claim I was liable. It's up to you to keep yourself safe, okay, guys? But I knew that some people just love to cause a scene and complain about anything and everything. So we needed to be 100% sure we drilled this point into everyone's minds. Nobody could be allowed to think this worked outside the labyrinth. We couldn't have some idiot think, hey, maybe it'll work somehow. If you'll mess that up, hey, it's not our fault. The promoter, i.e. me, bore no responsibility. You know, in my old world, I always felt like people foisted way too much responsibility on retailers and companies. If some fool breaks the rules, goes crazy, and gets themselves killed, all I can say is that they had it coming. But if we're negligent about providing guidance and cautions, then it does become our fault. That's why we needed to be thorough about our warnings here. So once again, never, ever attempt to use this bracelet outside. Soka was being exactly as clear and thorough as I'd hoped. Good. The only unresolved item on my wish list was to have someone actually die in there, something people would admittedly be reluctant about. But Ramirez had upgraded the resurrection bracelets to the point that they even canceled out pain upon determining you were dead. They also gave you a delay of around 10 seconds between when you died and when you got teleported back up. So if you or a fellow party member could take suitable measures in time, you could still get fixed up on the spot. Resurrection, being a divine skill and everything, was too high level for most people to cast, but still. By the way, full potions normally cannot regenerate the soul, but since your soul was stuck firmly inside your own body inside the labyrinth, you actually could resurrect people with a full potion to restore the body. I feared encouraging this, however, since, again, it may give people the idea they could pull that trick outside as well. That's why, unless you resurrected a downed adventurer the standard way, their body and soul would get teleported topside after 10 seconds. Just like Masayuki, one should just think of it like a dungeon exploration video game. Anyway, that wrapped up the initial briefing. Now I just needed someone to try out the resurrection bracelet for me. So, who would like to experience this for themselves? I doubted anyone would actually, but Soka brightly belted out the question anyway. Talk about thick-skinned. Basson, the giant skinhead of a man, grunted at this.
You'll never die in the labyrinth? That's a funny joke. If you think I'm gonna believe that and get myself killed in there, you got another thing coming.
The people around him nodded their assent. This was just common sense. Not even Ellen's team was taking the bait. Well, who do you think should do it? You go first. Oh, that was Guy, whatever. Gay, the flowing swordsman, pointed a finger at Malamile. Oh. He wanted someone else to go first, not him. And I guess that was to be expected. I wished he were more polite about it, though.
Me? An understandable question, I suppose. I'd be happy to.
Malamile, perhaps expecting this, wasn't agitated at all. In fact, he'd already experienced it once. The members of Team Reborn under Shion had experimented with it many times, so he fully believed it was safe, and going through it one time removed any fear from the process. So, with as much stately majesty as he could muster, he put on the bracelet and set foot inside the labyrinth. The challengers followed behind him. Now, if you actually attacked Mollymile in here, Soka took up the sword on her hip, preparing to slash at Mollymile. But before she could continue, Gay cut him off. You can't trick me. Krah! No. You can't trick me. Krah!
Gay!
There were...
Good.
Every time he swings his sword, Gay!
All right, anyway, go.
There was an arcing flash in the air, and then he sliced Mollimile's arm clean off. Hey! Soka tried to stop him, but nowhere near in time. Gah! Mollimile started shouting as well, bringing a hand to the gaping wound. The reduced pain effect kept him from dying of shock, but I'm sure getting forcibly amputated wasn't a very pleasant feeling. Ha 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 ha! And now it's almost time for the final blow. Was he just playing with him? What a bastard! I almost lost my temper, but then I saw a smile on Mollimile's face that restored my cool. And just as it did, Gay's sword hewed Mollimile's head clean off. At once, his body turned into a collection of light particles, flowing up and gathering by the door at center stage. Mollimile, along with what he was wearing, formed anew from these particles, fully restored. The crystal balls carried by Alpha and the other dryads recorded all of this, transmitting it to the large screen in the hall. And there you have it. I'm back in perfect shape. Mollimile stood there as if he hadn't just been brutally murdered. His severed arm was attached to him as well. It couldn't have been a better performance. Whoa! The audience cheered for him. Some of them screamed that it was a miracle. I'd say the demonstration was a success. I didn't want people to think this was an elaborate trick, but thanks to Gay's penchant for sudden violence, I think everyone was more convinced than they would have been otherwise. If anyone still didn't believe it, we'd just have to let them experience it for themselves. Of course it wasn't risk-free, so the best thing to do in the labyrinth was to simply not die. Take care of yourself down there, and you'll never have to go through it. I figured we could let adventurers who challenge the labyrinth spread the stories for us, and things would work themselves out. I thought some curious daredevils would want to get killed just to see what the experience was like, and that was no problem to me either. The important thing was that adventurers had nothing to fear if they took on the dungeon, and I thought Mollimile had just ensured that for me. I gotta say, he's got courage. He put up with Gay's morbid antics, but because this is exactly how he wanted this to turn out.
Gay?
Definitely need to thank him later for taking that role. I thought as I looked at the screen.
We've got our new...
Yes. Brave Mollimile. He took on the Gay sword.
All right, so your next show. We
All right.
almost got to 263, so we were almost 20 away.
We're gonna try.
All right, go for it.
The dungeon is now open for exploration. A brand new world is waiting for you inside. What could be awaiting those?
World. Sorry.
Christ.
I
I mean,
knew
it
it.
is though.
Yeah.
What could be awaiting those intrepid enough to battle their way through to the bottom? Soka was on stage kicking off her commentary as the screen showed the viewpoints of all four parties. The live connections worked without a hitch, bringing the audience inside the labyrinth. She was taking a documentary-style approach to her announcing, and I really appreciated her attention to detail as I watched the party set off. First one that caught my eye was Basan's. As they plunged past the orderly, well-built stone-type walls that defined floor one.
No
I figured at least one.
dungeons like Basan.
Yeah.
No one dies like Basan.
Basan. No one clicks tail and runs like Basan. Never mind.
He's
Sorry.
turned to a coward. He's crying now.
I'm especially good
My-
at evacuating.
My
what
would
a
have cried. Basan.
Good. Amazing.
All right.
I
So,
figured
that's
at least
beautiful.
one party member would be drawing a map on the way, but nobody was. They weren't even leaving marks on the walls to keep their bearings, instead just pleasantly chatting as they strode down the corridors. Are they going to be okay? I knew people like them explored caves and went on hunting missions in the lush forest and so on. How did this party find its way to their destination otherwise? They didn't hire a guide every time, did they? It's the same damn kind of corridor over and over, and all these crossroads. Weren't we at this intersection before, boss? Just as I feared, they were lost. I told them earlier how big this place was, but had they tuned that out? Whoa. Or, whoa, this is bad news, Basan. This maze is bigger than I thought. Yeah. The first floor alone was over 800 feet long per side. They had been told this was a pretty big place, but I suppose they were picturing something cozier. I guess that if you heard it described as a man-made structure beneath the Colosseum, you'd likely think it wasn't that big either, or you'd likely wouldn't think it would be that big either. But oh well. It wasn't my problem, and again, it made for good advertising.
No
However,
one's crossed like Basan or gets
Gi-
lost
give me
like
just a second.
Basan.
I need to try this. I need to try this.
Whoa! This bad news, Basad. This maze is bigger than I thought.
oh my
LeFou?
god, that's amazing.
More
were you trying
beer?
to- was that your best LeFou?
That's my
That was
best
so
LeFou.
God
like
damn
it.
it. I fucking love
More
you
beer?
guys.
My
What
first time
for?
trying that
Nothing
too.
helps.
You're so
I'm
dumb.
disgraced.
You're so dumb and I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
However, I really didn't want these parties to face instant death at the start of floor 1.
Instant
we went
death.
we went that insanely hard on them from the get-go. Nobody would want to take the challenge. They needed to get at least a little farther in. They could always die to be transported back, and there was an SOS feature in their bracelets as well, which treated the wearer as dead and let them escape at any time. The Dryads could also come to the rescue, and there was one accompanying each party, ready to promptly bring them back to the surface. So I really wanted them to be serious about plumbing this labyrinth, but Basan was too busy getting irritated at his panicky party members. What are you people, idiots? I've never heard of such an enormous maze before. That demon lord's just feeding us a tall tale. He's using magic or something to disorient us. I say we kill the... Never mind. Oh, he is. You've convinced me, Basan. Yeah, the magic concentration around here is pretty high. You're probably right. This must be illusory magic or the like. You said it, Gomez. We've been following the right-hand rule religiously so far. Worst case scenario, we'll just wind up back where we came. Oh dear. Labyrinth difficulty was the least of their concerns. They might have thought they were thinking things through, but they sure weren't. I wouldn't be so harsh on them if they were taking notes on paper, but no way could they memorize a path through all these similar-looking corridors, packed with forks, four-way intersections, and dead ends. Between the uniform decor and the twistiness of the paths, simply going right at every opportunity wasn't going to get you anyplace. These challengers were just way too idiotic. Couldn't count on them for too much, I guess. But then Basan's party disappeared, or to be more exact, they fell down to the next level. What? Whoa! Was that a trapdoor? I was as quizzical as Soka. Did we set up any trapdoors on the first level? Ramirez. Yes? How can I help you? When I set up this floor, I really don't think I installed anything like that. You haven't been messing around with my design, have you? I tried to keep a smile on my face so as to not scare Ramirez. That being said, I still found it prudent to grab her to keep her from flying away. Well, actually, she replied with a forced smile, we wanted to make the labyrinth a more complete creation, so... Upon further interrogation, Ramirez admitted to placing a fairly decent number of trapdoors around. I had to chew her out for this. A floor this large doesn't need trapdoors, all right? The idea was to tire adventurers out and sap their endurance, but these kind of traps had the opposite effect, essentially serving as time-saving shortcuts. Traps are only traps after all, if their effect matches your intended purpose. But I mean, you had a lot more fiendish trapdoors in the lower, fiendish trapdoors in the lower levels, didn't you? So I thought, perhaps you forgot to install some higher up. I just did that out of kindness, you see? I didn't need that kind of kindness. Sure, if they wanted to make this into a punishing gauntlet, I could get that. If I left everything in the hands of Ramirez, Valdora, and Milam, they'd litter the whole labyrinth with insane trash like that. But I didn't want that at the very start. That was the whole reason I worked on the topmost level myself, or topmost floors myself. Quickly, I turned my attention to the other parties. Ellen's group was theoretically led by Cabal, but Ellen herself, I think it's Erin herself had fully taken over the leader role. On the whole, they had no sense of direction at all, so I thought beating the first floor could prove difficult for them, and I was half right. The group didn't run into any traps, at least, as they carefully advanced. Amazingly, they were even writing down notes as they went, following the textbook method of dungeon conquering. Oh? Ellen's party is sure taking this seriously. They didn't hit any trapdoors, and they're dodging the traps as I set up as well. They already looted 3 treasure chests? They're having a pretty smooth time so far. What's so funny? Why are they having such a smooth time of it? And something about Ramirez hiding her reaction with a laugh rubbed me the wrong way. Ramirez? Yes? What is it? I trust in you, okay? I know you wouldn't hide anything from me. Of course not, Rimuru. So, let me ask. Did you do something to Ellen's group? Nothing looked amiss on screen, but they were performing a little too well. As one would expect in a dungeon, many of the treasure chests throughout contained nothing of value. Ellen's party picked 3 chests in a row with killer loot. It stank of cheating. Well, actually, not that again. What did you do? Well, Ellen and her group gave me a nice little gift, so we really hit it off, you could say.
How is
So
Lord
then-
Basan doing?
He fell through a trapdoor.
Oh no.
He ran inside and slipped on an ice cube.
No one falls like Bastan.
The more
Breaks through walls like
I
Basan.
guess no one gets lost and falls
No
on his
one
ass
wa-
like Basan.
No one gets lost eternally in halls and corridors and halls like Basan. God damn it, I
Good.
keep
His
wanting to say
leg is
Gaston.
broken in 3 places.
Mm-mm.
Good. The more I
In
heard,
3
the worse my
different
headache got.
places.
Places. That's it.
Yep, it's beautiful.
Oh,
You
what
guys are
a
great at
guy.
Basan's lyrics.
Basan.
Son.
Perfect.
Oh,
In the
that's
midst of labyrinth. Sorry, this is beautiful. I can't wait till we get to this part. Great.
please. We have to
Yeah.
make him Gaston now,
You have to.
and fucking LeFou.
You have to. There's probably
Hold
like
on,
a little
hold
guy
on,
somewhere to do
Let me
that.
call. Let me call my music husband.
Music husband.
I'm sure Calvin.
Calvin.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
No! That's right. Because
Yeah.
like we have Dave, so we just
Yeah.
have him yell, Calvin! God damn it! All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Perfect.
great.
Yep. Amazing.
Calvin.
Mm.
Calvin.
In
Calvin.
the-
Calvin!
Yep.
All right.
In the
Keep going,
midst
guys.
of labyrinth construction, Ellen had given Ramirez a large number of cakes. These were baked by Mr. Yoshida, so I'm sure they were all delicious.
That's
Ellen had made
fucking
similar
bribery,
overtures.
sir.
I know. He just snuck a 100 at the door. Just
She bribed Ramirez with cake. That sounds about right. That cake.
I mean, I like cakes.
Cake. No, we've seen you turn around. You get that cake.
Thanks. I'm sure.
Ah,
I'm sure they were all
music
delicious.
husband did not answer me. It is 11
Aw,
o'clock. though.
not yet. He's probably busy. It's fine. He'll be on it. Ellen had made similar overtures to the Dryads as well, and bit by bit, she had gleaned information from them about the first floor. Ramirez realized this after a while, but as she put it, the magic of those pastries was simply irresistible.
They are magical.
I mean, what could I do? What? What'd you say?
they are magical.
That's true. Magical.
Yeah. Magical.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I didn't see it as a problem, and Master of Eldora Millen didn't either. Now she
I
was
love that whole.
firing
I
back-
mean, what can I do?
Yeah, what can I do? It's not a problem. Now she was firing back at me, trying to portray her actions as totally justifiable, but it was straight up bribery. I was exasperated at how quickly corruption had become an issue down here or down there. Still, no need to catastrophize about it.
I mean,
I had adjusted the labyrinth today.
I mean, we worry
mean-
about corrupt politicians, and here we have corrupt demon lords.
I mean, cheat codes are a natural part of video games, so
Game.
somebody's
Shark.
gonna find the meta. Yeah. I had adjusted the labyrinth today to skew easier difficulty-wise. Plus, only the first floor had been exposed to
Just
her.
have a
treasure
pastry.
chest-
You just grab a pastry. All right, here's how the pastry code works, everybody. It's like this.
Yes. Up, down, left,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Up, down, left, right,
Yeah.
left, right. BA, start, select.
Yep,
There you
yep,
go. You
yep.
do it.
Perfect.
It's the Konami
Yep,
code. I was gonna say it. We were on the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
wavelength. Yep.
Yeah, see? Good. Plus, only the first floor had been exposed to her. The treasure chest.
That's
with
like the
real
secret
top
code.
shelf
That's
items
like the
were
secret
up.
code to getting. That's the
Yeah.
secret code you actually have to recite in order to get the
Yeah.
pastry. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. I mean, he would do something like that. I mean, it's a pretty famous code, so I'm saying.
All right, continue. Sorry,
Yeah.
continue.
All good. Cabal's party is doing a good job landing treasure, isn't it?
Mm,
That it is,
mm.
Molly Mall told Sokka, or Ahsoka,
Ahsoka.
joining her in the announcer side. Sir Rimuru mentioned that chests can sometimes be found in small side rooms and like. They need to watch out for traps as well. Good point. Do you think there are neat items in them? There's some really good stuff in the lower levels, I would imagine. Oh, that's him. There's some really good stuff in the lower levels, I would imagine. And speaking of which, I understand there are 3 types of treasure chests in all: gold, silver, and bronze. It seems only the bronze chests run the chance of being booby-trapped. These 3 chest types contain different sets of
Booby.
items. Floor
I
1
like
contained nothing but bronze chests. Silver chests could contain items up to the special level of
He
rarity.
said
Most of them were
chest.
sealed with potions. I was going to say silver coins and other usual stuffs, but the gold ones, those were nice. Very big. Anyway, just kidding. This included some of the...
We're talking about treasure, right?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Sure.
Yes, kind of treasure.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. This included some of the lesser quality swords forged by Grobe, only ranking a normal in quality. Overall, nothing that would really cost as much if someone was gunning for them. But it's the gold chests you really want, I suppose, Soka said. Quite so,
God damn
agreed
it.
Molly Mile.
God damn it.
Sorry.
It's
didn't
the
say it like
food
that.
episode all over again.
God damn
Yep,
it.
yep.
All right, continue.
Reading from some notes I'd given him earlier. And apparently, those only show up on floor numbers that are a multiple of 10. The boss chambers, in other words. What do you mean by all that? Well, as all of you know, Sir Bovix has been appointed the guardian of floor 50. In much the same way, we have other guardians, or boss monsters, positioned in chambers in front of the exit stairways in floors 40, 30, 20, and 10. The gold chests are real only for adventurers who can defeat such formidable foes, and they could even contain rare-level weapons and armor. This was meant to be an advertising event, so I didn't want opportunities like this one to go to waste. The script here was admittedly kind of trite, like a late-night infomercial, appealing to people's greed with such refreshing alacrity that I was almost ashamed to be one of the writers. But it worked like a charm. The mention of rare weapons sent a clamor across the audience. I imagine most people here got to see Bovik's strength for themselves. He is the kind of powerhouse challengers have been waiting or have waiting for them in here.
My
So
God, it's a
anything-
goddamn
what?
slap shop commercial.
It is though.
Yeah,
So
of course,
anyone
you say infomercial, and all I can think about is fucking Djibouti dubs.
Oh yeah! You see this man? I'll
Yeah.
cook anything.
What are you cooking for humans? You cooking for robots? Blip bloop.
Jesus
I got the
Christ.
symbiote.
Hope Iron Mouse is in the audience.
Right?
Uh,
I love how much she was dying from that. I got
It
that
was
symbiote.
really funny.
That shit was so funny. Goddamn.
I got the symbiote.
Have you seen her Thanksgiving special?
I
Oh.
haven't.
I'm assuming it was really good.
Djibouti Dub's Thanksgiving special. All right, here's the thing. Iron Mouse's family went to be with other family on Thanksgiving, and so Iron Mouse was by herself on Thanksgiving. So she
Aw.
did a Thanksgiving stream, and one of the things she did was she did a reaction to Djibouti Dub's Thanksgiving special, and oh my God.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right,
Check
continue.
that
Sorry.
So if anyone thinks they've got the muscle for it, I'd love to see them challenge this labyrinth. That's right. And one more thing. As you can see on this screen, each floor is very large in size. I imagine you need to clear out several days if you wanted to fully conquer the dungeon, huh? That was our basic setup. Soka asking leading questions. Oh, that was her. Molly Ma answering them. The classic play-by-play and color commentary setup. And they were doing pretty well as partners. Like I said before, floor 1 only had bronze
God,
chests.
I wish I had a fucking one of those stream decks right now, because like, you know, it would have been perfect right now. Press a button for the color commentary going on right now, and just have the ba-da-dum, 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 ba-da-dum.
Da-da-da.
Yeah, the Fox Sports theme.
Yeah,
Bum,
be good.
bum. Yeah.
Either that or da 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 da.
ESPN.
That would work too. Yeah.
Ba-da-da. All right, anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You didn't mess around with the contents of the chest, did you? I asked Ramirez. All good there. Ah, all right. I didn't appreciate Ellen gaming the system like this, but her party was advancing the right way, and it made for perfect advertising. I suppose she earned whatever she picked up down there today. Giving her a map and a list of trap locations was a blatant rule violation, but I'd overlook it this time. So I knew Ellen's party was safe, but what about Masayuki, whom I'd given my own set of hints? And look at this! They've already made their way to floor 4. What speed! We're definitely seeing light speed at their quickest today, folks. Pfft, why, man? It hasn't even been 30 minutes since we began. Why was he already down to the 4th level? Good. Masayuki's party had hit virtually every trapdoor so far, as if aiming for them, which gave them a head start to the lower levels. And the crowd, Masayuki! Masayuki! I didn't even need to look at them, really. Even audience members who laughed at Basan blundering into a trapdoor, saying Masayuki's praises whenever he found one. It was incredibly unfair, but that was just Masayuki's power doing its thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably resenting me right now, given the info I'd leaked to him was less than fully reliable. Sorry, man. It wasn't my fault. Not that that was an excuse. By floor 4, they'd start to see monsters patrolling the corridors. I was sure my map wasn't looking too reliable at this point, what with those fearsome trapdoors at random locations, but I still prayed they'd do their best with the situation. That just left Gabe, and he was using his physical gifts to rush through the labyrinth, Delta flying at full speed to keep up. Being a demi-spiritual being, Delta could teleport herself using whatever nearby plant life there was, but doing that would cut off the video she was telecasting, so she was frantically chasing after Gay instead, I suppose. It was an important, impressive effort. Good. And I was glad to see her so devoted to her post. Gay, of course. Gator no mind, proceeding along at his own pace. Judging by how he wasn't getting lost at all on his way to the stairways, I was guessing he had some kind of magical positioning system activated.
Understood. This is the elemental magic spell Auto Map.
Aha, you wouldn't need a map at all then, huh? This magic flashed pinpoint positional data into your brain, sort of like what the great sage used to provide me. If was keeping it constantly activated. He must have been well versed in magic too,
Guys,
not just swords.
The reason we're doing this is because we fucking hate this character.
I mean,
like,
he's a bloodhole.
100%.
He slaughtered Molly Mile.
100%. I fucking
Yeah.
hate this character.
He's a
100%. He's a royal fucking douchebag. He is a douche lord of the highest order, and that's
he's a
why,
butthole.
even though technically I know, like, we should be like, I'm just, no, his name is Gay, and that's how I'm
true.
pronouncing it from now on.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, that's fair. Well, it
Yeah.
separates him from Guy, because Guy is actually important. Anyway.
Yep.
also that, but like, no, he's, yeah. So I am making fun of him to my last breath,
That's fair.
because he sucks. He's
Mhm.
he just a sucky dude. He is
Besides,
purposefully
he won't be
written to
here
suck.
forever.
Yeah, he won't be here forever.
Upon reaching out to Fuse, I learned that Gay was indeed an A-rated adventure, a very rare breed. Based on his performance, I'd call that more than fair. He was on floor 2 right now, but would be reaching the next stairway down shortly. If he kept up this pace, he should make it to floor 5 in the 2 hours or so remaining. This was much faster than I envisioned. I didn't see this speed coming at all. But something caught my attention. There was something sparkling within something unusual. His lips were twisted downward, his eyes bloodshot, and even when he hit floor 3, he kept up his blazing speed. Unlike the first 2 floors, however, he started ducking into the side rooms, checking them for treasure chests, or really just raiding the chests without hesitation like he knew where they were all along. Strictly silver chests, too. How's he doing that? I grumbled. Raphael had no response, so not even he knew. I feel like that adventurer Gaze got this intense green for it, you know? Like his nose can smell it where the gold is. Ramirez's appraisal was a tad vague, but I think I might understand what he was getting at. It was clear there was nothing normal about Gay. Between this gruesome treatment he gave Molly Mile, hopefully, I reasoned as I watched him sprint forward, I won't have to get involved with him much. We were now 2 hours in, and Basan's party had just found another hidden room. Basan, there's another chamber in here. A fellow party member happened upon the latch for the door. Not another trap, is it? A doubtful Basan asked. The adventurer had been stymied? Stymied, yes. Stymied by a paralysis poison trap I'd laid for them, as well as a treasure chest loaded with sleeping gas. They even got accosted by one of the weaker mimics in the labyrinth, so now they were eyeing every chest with caution. Hey, Ramirez, which chest was in that chamber? I'd really like them to find something good soon. It makes for bad advertising otherwise. I'm kind of starting to feel sorry for them. Seeing them bumble around reminded me of my days of buying 10 loot crates in a mobile game, getting nothing but crap from them. After all this failure, they just seemed pitiful to me. They never come back if they completely lost their drive to continue, so I wanted to land something on them, or land them to land something pretty soon. It's a pity roll.
Fucking
No worries there. It's just,
guaranteed 5-star.
Yeah. But it's like a weapon that they can't use, like none of them can use. Good. It's just, that Challenger's party is really awful. Not that I'm one to talk, but I didn't expect anyone to be this reckless. But that chamber's got one monster and one silver chest. I don't remember what's inside, but it'll definitely be worth the trouble this time. Great. Today, at least, I wanted something good to come their way. Well, boss, it's a trap. There's a monster. Ugh, want to fall back? We can't, Basan. He's already locked onto us. A giant bear. Yeah, no running from that. Both sides began to size each other up, gauging their first move. I was concerned. Why would the simple presence of a monster spook them so much? No, you didn't see creatures like this on floor 1, and floor 2 had nothing too powerful in it. But this hidden chamber had a silver chest with a fairly decent item inside, so we just placed a monster in there to protect it. Ramirez was right. This hidden room housed the best prize of the entire floor. The giant bear guarding it was a C-ranked monster. Basan's team was rated B. This would be easy pickings for them. And yet, the sight of that beast scared the pants off Basan and Gomez. Basan, I see a treasure chest on the other side, and it's silver. It might be a trap, but we gotta do it. Brace yourselves, people. Let's go. Now the party of 6 was finally ready to fight, gripping their weapons tightly as they stared the bear down. All distracted, you guys catch it off guard. Basan, as leader, intended to play the advanced guard role. The moment he jumped into the room, he let out a roar, drawing the bear's attention. The two of them faced off. Whoa! Basan's party has started fighting a monster. Is that a giant bear they're up against? Those enormous claws could easily take your life with one swipe, it said. Soka's commentary made me realize how wrong I was. Ah, yes, this wasn't a game. Basan's party wasn't proving it too well today, but they didn't like but they were professional adventurers. They didn't like getting hurt. The stakes dictated that one wrong move could end your life, so naturally they wanted to avoid any combat that didn't suitably reward them. I told everyone that dying in here was perfectly safe, but it looked like that'd take a little while to sink in. Maybe I needed to reconsider the pitch I was making with this labyrinth. And then the battle began. Basan was up in front, fending off the giant bear's attack. His face was taut. He had gone with a set of hard leather armor today, which left his arms inside undefended. No wonder even a lower-level foe was making him sweat. The swipes from his axe were heavy and punishing, no doubt, but they didn't offer good defense against a clawed foe. Instead, he was deftly using his circular shield to push the giant bear's arms away. Meanwhile, his companions were offering him support to focus on staying safe as they aimed for the enemy's eyes and footing with their barrage of attacks. It was Gomez, the sorcerer, who struck the final blow, however, with a windcutter attack that hit home. And the curtain has closed on their battle with the giant bear. That was quite a battle, wasn't it? That it was. Truly a textbook approach, not going in too far at any time. These are true veterans of the craft at work. I listened to Soka and Molly Mal's banter as I thought over the fight. The party had worked well together. They'd wrapped up that battle successfully in around 5 minutes with nobody hurt on their side. To me, though, this was a serious problem. My head started to hurt again. Guys, this was a fight that would have dominated from the start. Why were they being so damn careful with it? Yes, I'm a tad surprised as well, but that's the normal approach, isn't it? I guess so. I was worried when I saw they weren't drawing a map, but I guess their approach to this is just too far removed from what we pictured. Right. It might just take some people 3 days or so just to wrap up floor 1. In that case, maybe we better start thinking about supplying food or something. Man, I sure wasn't expecting our plans to go awry like this. Basan's party had adventurers of sorted ranks, but as a team, they were equivalent to a B. With the right equipment, I figured Basan and Gomez could both merit a B by themselves. The sight of a party of 6 experiencing so much trouble on floor 2 was beyond unexpected. They were the clear victors of that battle, but 5 minutes? That was too long. Yeah, their emphasis on safety was probably the mark of professionals, but maybe they should focus more on healing injuries with potions and learning how to fight a little more efficiently. As I fretted about this, the party approached the treasure chest. Looks like there's still a treasure chest in this room. Or looks like there is a treasure chest in this room. And that color's silver, isn't it? What can we find inside? This is Soka. Soka's build-up filled the audience chamber with tension. Other parties had opened many chests by now, but it seemed like the crowd couldn't get enough of that moment when the chest swung open. One of Basan's party members popped open the top. Yeesh, at least try to be on the lookout for traps, guys. There weren't any on silver chests, but they wouldn't know that. They already had a dose of paralysis poison earlier, along with sleeping gas before that. Now the party was taking turns picking someone to open chests, like it was a kind of punishment. It was so low level it scared me to look at them. For someone like me, used to the unwritten rules of video games, it was complete amateur hour. People here might not be used to uncovering chests in the middle of huge mazes, but was that why they were being so thoughtless about opening them? Along those lines, Helen's party was looking far more sensible. They had Guido with them, so up till now they had managed to raid the chest without getting caught in any traps. Not having a thief-type specialist in his party might be a problem for Basan. Hunter-type adventurers who made the most of their coin from bodyguard work might not be used to situations like this. It'd be best for them to bring on a dedicated explorer or just expand the size of their party, but hang on. Maybe the labyrinth really was more difficult than we pictured. I thought Basan's crew was just kind of low level, but with nobody here well versed in this kind of dungeon hacking, Perhaps things were just going too slow, or to go slow at first. We need to reconsider that later. Ooh, Basan! It's a sword! Nice. They'd finally drawn a winner. A big winner. Top prizes for these chests included high-grade potions, ancient gold coins, quality armor, and so on. Starting on floor 2, you also had a tiny chance at uncovering a rare level item, and that was exactly the kind of sword Basan's team had just found. Oh, actually, Master Veldora said that he adjusted the chest from floor 2 down to give out more jackpots like that. Did he? But this party didn't find anything good until now. Veldora saw the problem and addressed it, but with a party this unlucky, it still didn't help. If he hadn't fudged the stats a little, Basan would have been finding nothing all day. Drawing a rare item was certainly quite a comeback. It meant good PR for us, and I bet it'd drive Basan's party to try their luck some more. Thinking about it that way, I had to admit, Veldora did a good job. That was a smart decision on Veldora's part, though. People need to have some positive experiences in here, or else it'll affect our future strategy. I'd have to thank him later. Basan's party, meanwhile, was passing the sword around to one another, staring at it and whistling their astonishment. It seemed they liked it. Okay, guys, Basan said as he put his axe away and switched up to the sword. Let's keep this up. The next chamber had 3 lesser bats flitting around, but Basan managed to swipe them all down with one hit. The blade must have helped, because they were starting to move faster. One of Kurobe's apprentices had crafted that sword, which was just barely qualified for rare status, but to Basan, it must have been a legendary piece. The same was true for Gay. I heard that even A-rank pros had difficulty acquiring a full set of rare equipment. If so, no wonder Basan was so excited. The party was now proceeding more quickly, making up for lost time and accumulating a large number of magic crystals from the monsters they slew. This is nice. We're definitely this is nice. We're definitely coming out ahead. I think we'll earn a lot more than I thought before the day is through. Yeah, I definitely want to pay another visit here once it's fully open. Now the party was all smiles as they ventured further into the dungeon. I turned my attention to Ellen's group. Since they were on floor 1, they'd have trouble finding any rare items. They were being very cautious as they proceeded, too much so, really, but their approach paid off with all the chests they got to raid. Now, though, they were suddenly switching tactics. Are we about ready? You're really going to do this? Do I get a voice in this? Here we go. Time to hook some big fish. Completely ignoring Cabal, Ellen began to head for the lower levels. They had just under an hour to go. I guess they chose this moment to go for broke. It looked like they'd focused on floor 1 so much up to now because they were trying to gather as many potions as they could. Now it was time to make use of Ramirez's info and attempt to get all the way down to floor 10. It looks like Cabal's party is on the move. They've been thorough in their work so far, proceeding bit by bit, but now they're making a beeline for deeper floors. Are they looking for treasure chests with larger payoffs? But it'll be hard to discover chests out of sheer luck. But it looks like you can find rare items from silver chests like Basan's party did earlier, right? Right, but it's not something you can aim for, really. Sir has opened something like 20 silver chests so far, but he hasn't scored any rares. So they'll need to look for gold chests to be guaranteed rare items? That's correct, but they'll only find gold chests in the designated boss monster chambers mostly. Mostly? Are they anywhere else? Well, actually, there are other powerful creatures in the labyrinth that you may run into at random. These are called area bosses, and the rooms they guard could contain golden chests. Soka and Melimal's guidance convinced me of what Ellen was after. Hey, Ramirez? Yeah? Did you leak out the locations of the area bosses as well? I think such a thing might have been included. Yes. Oh, Lord. But hey, let's stay optimistic. These area bosses, something I included mainly for fun, could also be good PR for us, and I knew I laid one out in floor 4. Its position changes whenever it's defeated, but those guys should still be where I left them. Essentially, this floor houses a small monster lair inhabited by several giant bats, each ranked C+. If you weren't aware of them, you'd have to face a torrent of monsters all at once, but if Ellen's party saw them coming, I suppose they could prepare for it well enough. I just didn't want it to look like they knew in advance there was something in that lair. That'd seem a little too contrived. But I had nothing to worry about. Ellen's party deliberately used trapdoors to go down to floor 5, pretended to be injured so they could advertise the effects of potions effects of potions for me, and claimed loudly to be searching for somewhere to rest all the way to the monster lair. The perfect act from start to finish. They had futures in the theater, I tell you. Guys, there's a small chamber around the corner. Let's rest in there. Alrighty. Are you okay, Cabal? Yeah. Boy, that potion worked like a charm. I feel absolutely fine. And let's rest a little bit before we start farming some more.
The sign of a good actor. They can do bad acting.
Yep.
Cabal's delivery was a touch wooden, but nobody noticed. The eyes of everyone in the audience were on the big screen as Guido opened the door. Sorry. Whoa,
That's great.
whoa, giant bats! Stay calm, Cabal. You're on. I don't want them sucking my blood. But... Cabal's
Oh,
I want to
God.
suck your blood.
I'm sorry, I'm having too much fun having them be like, oh no, guys, it's the giant bats. Be careful. Despite Cabal's
Ooh.
reluctance, he handed up his scale shield, hiding behind it as he faced the full brunt of the bat's attacks. It looked like a tricky situation at first glance, but Cabal was cool as a cucumber. Giant bats had no way of cutting through a shield that durable, so he shrugged off their strikes without breaking a sweat. As he distracted them, Ellen completed her magic spell. Here we go! Icicle shot! The flurry of small, sharpened shards of ice flew at the bats. In a room this small, they had nowhere to flee. With her magic amplified by her dryad staff, Ellen's blast of ice tore the entire flock of bats to shred. Too easy by the looks of things. You may be right. If this were Basan's party, I bet it'd be a life and death struggle.
God
I
damn.
feel like...
I think the acting's
Oh,
done.
it stopped.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought it kept going. I feel like giving out a gold chest for this is costing us. Maybe, but let's not use Ellen's party as our yardstick for this.
Yeah, because
Ramirez
Ellen's
had a good
party's actually
point.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's true. Plus, they are seasoned adventurers, though. Plus, if you think about it, this went easy for Ellen only because she cheated. She
Yeah.
wouldn't get this advantage normally, yeah. If she had run herself ragged all around the labyrinth before finally discovering a gold box, I'd be happy to toast her good fortune then. That was a fine battle, wasn't it? Soka asked Mike. Yes, this is definitely a well-seasoned team of adventurers. They certainly made it look easy. Ah, and here's Sir Guido opening a treasure chest. Ooh, a gold chest. Are we really going to see a rare item come out? I focused in on Guido's hands. He was guaranteed a rare, but exactly what, I couldn't guess. Looks like a sword. Ah, I wanted some sorcerer's armor. A sword? Sweet! Someone up high must be watching how hard I'm working. 3 people, 3 reactions. Guido couldn't care less. Ellen was pouting, and Cabal showed his first real enthusiasm of the day. The sheer across-the-board variety made me laugh.
Ah, husband is calling.
A phone call is here. Yep.
Music boy.
And are you gonna scream his name? Calvin!
We're probably muted.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, and it looks like a weapon, Molly Mile. Or it looks like a weapon, Molly Mile. Oh, I'm sure it is. The Demon Lord Rimuru has given me word that every gold chest is guaranteed to house an excellent item inside. I didn't remember saying that, but I was glad Molly Mile was kind enough to hype it up for me. This chest contained a Tempest sword. Everyone thought it was a rare, but it was actually unique. Like the Tempest dagger I'd given Guido, it was a masterpiece of a weapon forged by Kurobe from Cardi B skills. Anyway, thank you. Veldora had made jackpot finds like this more common for today. And maybe that's why Ellen's party scored a killer item that usually showed up just 1% of the time. Then, their mission done for the day, the party promptly prepared to head back. Talk about a cold, calculated approach, huh? I don't know. We kind of lavished too much on them, I said as I laughed at their indomitable drive for riches. But, oh well. How are Masayuki's team and doing?
Gay?
Thank you. Both were drilling
Keep it
deeper
up.
and deeper down, as if in a foot race. But it was clear who had the advantage. Masayuki's party was overwhelmingly ahead, already at the 9th floor by the time 2 hours passed by. Jesus. They're just way too fast. I'm sorry. I didn't think challengers would you'd use trapdoors that way. I doubt Masayuki is deliberately aiming for them then. Even as Ramirez and I spoke, the party tore their way across floor 9. With over 50 minutes left to go, they reached floor 10, and thanks to yet another conveniently placed trapdoor, they managed to get deep inside, right nearby the boss's chamber. Masayuki's good luck again, no doubt. I never would have guessed they'd go this far in another 3 hours. Their speed just totally floored me. By this point in the labyrinth, you'd start to encounter monsters in the middle of the corridors as well, not just in the rooms. Sometimes they'd appear in small groups too, but Masayuki's friends did an impressive job against them. Nearly all their foes fell with one hit. At no time were they ever endangered. And since my map was accurate except for the trapdoors, they were still checking it to figure out the way ahead. Finally, the party reached the last chamber in the floor. The stairs to floor 11 would appear only once they defeated the boss lurking deep inside. A black spider ranked a B in difficulty. The party cowered against this fearsome sight. Yeah! And Jinrai then slashed it to death in one swipe. Damn, that was frustrating. Against Team Masayuki, a black spider didn't even begin to pose a challenge. If it weren't for all the hold on. If it weren't for all those damn trapdoors, at least they would have had to spend some more time getting here. Thus, the party picked up their gold level chest, grabbing a rare level dagger from it. That, and they even added their names to the floor's save point. I decided right then and there to just do away with all the trapdoors. Once the boss was slain, Masayuki's group used their return whistle to head back to the surface, making them the second group to emerge after Ellen's. Just when the party exited the boss chamber, the door leading to it opened up again. Masayuki's party is back with us, but now Sir Gay is going to challenge the boss. Gay has traversed this door into the labyrinth all by himself. No traps or pitfalls have caught him yet, and he's been going at a breathtaking clip the whole time. Yes, at the speed he's going, he's racing past trapdoors before they can even open. That's an unexpected approach to take. I don't think most people could copy it. The adventurer types in the audience nodded in agreement with Molly Mile. Going solo was one thing, but a multi-member team could never pull a trick like that. Gay didn't have the greatest of personalities, but he was every bit worthy of the A rank he was rewarded. He had run into no problems on those early floors, taking every measure available to score as many silver chests as possible. He was about the worst beta tester I could have picked, but I couldn't do much about that now. Pfft, that piece of garbage swordsman beat me here, eh? Oh well. Bring back that boss for me. Gay wasted no time copying an attitude. It was grating, but I was mature enough to put up with it. So what happens at a time like this, Molly Mile? Well, I'm told that the boss is resurrected in approximately 30 minutes, and the gold treasure chest with it? That's what I understand, yes. Otherwise, Surimu was concerned people would start fighting each other for the right to tackle a boss. I see. In that case, I'm afraid Gay may not have enough time. No, there's not much time left. I imagine that'll be the end for this run for him. 15 minutes remained out of the 3 hours allotted. Okay. Once the situation was explained to him, did not take it well. Are you kidding me? You think you can boss me around in here? I know how talentless all you people are, but I don't see why I need to stoop down to your level. Get this boss back here right now. The greed was visible in his eyes as his self-centered vitriol continued. Delta took it all in stride, but the next thing Gay said changed matters for her. The master of a talentless fool is a talentless fool. There's no need at all for me to abide by the rules of you buffoons. Oops, shouldn't have said that. That's all but declaring to the master of the labyrinth that you aren't going to play by her laws. Gay's shouting wasn't going to change anything, but was the master going to ignore that insult? Doubtful. Your statement clearly violates the regulations set by us, Delta calmly stated. I will let this go if you apologize, but I will not allow any more abusive language. Gay snorted at her. What? Why does a guy like you think you're so far above me? Don't make me laugh. Clear rule violation confirmed. Executing punishment. Huh? Punishment? What could you ever do to... At the next moment, Gay's body was bound and lifted into the air by vines that sprang up from the floor around him. But what? I removed the pain suppressor feature on your resurrection bracelet. Do you feel like apologizing yet? Small thorns shot out from the vines, piercing into the slits between his armor's plating. The results were painful for him. This was the spirit magic thornbind, and Delta was able to launch it with 0 spellcasting delay. Damn you! You think that's all it takes to beat me? This is your final warning. Do you have any interest in apologizing? The hell I do! This level of magic could never... His shouting was cut off mid-sentence as Delta used her slender hands to slice Gay's head off. He had chosen the wrong person to pick a fight with today. Yes, he was an A-ranked adventurer, but Delta was a dryad. Even without battle experience, her species had instincts that made her a threat beyond hazard level. Once she was a bit more well-versed, she'd be at the Calamity tier with Trainee and the others. Someone like Gay had no chance. The sight of Gay who had wowed in the battle tournament, getting destroyed by the gentle-looking Delta made the crowd audibly gasp. The flowing swordman may have thought he was strong, but he was killed in an instant, unable to defend himself. Seeing that projected on such a large screen would scare the crap out of anyone. Ah, yes, Molly Miles said in hushed tones. In the labyrinth, the words of the maze master essentially serve as law. Ignoring her rules, and the manager will deliver a swift punishment like the one you just saw now. As he put it, if you followed the rules, you were perfectly safe. That's pretty scary. So what happens to Gay? Then? Nothing at all, actually. He will be stripped of the items he'd acquired in this trip to the labyrinth, but otherwise, he is alive and well. Although without the pain suppression feature on his resurrection bracelet, I imagine it's a rather grueling experience for him at the moment. There was no real punishment, you could say. All it meant was a reset back to what you were before venturing inside and nothing else. Serious rule infractions might require us to ban you from the dungeon entirely, but we plan to discuss that once we saw how things went. Ah,
Gay?
is now out from the labyrinth, but unlike you, Molly Mile, it appears he's unconscious. Immediately after the decapitation, Gay dissolved into particles of life and was resurrected at the surface, still knocked out. That's because Delta exercised her right to restrict the functionality of his resurrection bracelet, a sort of nuanced way to mete out extra punishment. He was safe and unhurt, but his body would need some time to recover from the shock of dying. Between his mistreatment of Molly Mile and outright contempt for Delta, Gay was proving to be one of the most distasteful people I'd ever meet, or ever met. Seeing him like this was, to say the least, gratifying. Hopefully, he learned his lesson a little. Yes, Molly Mile continued, as long as participants follow the rules, the resurrection bracelet always works perfectly. But as all of you saw, Sergei was deliberately flaunting regulations. So the labyrinth has a number of visitors or of rules for visitors to follow. For example, no conflicts among adventurers, and always follow the advice of the maze managers. We plan to distribute a book of rules once normal operation begins, and our guides will also provide rule rundowns to those adventurers who can't read. We'll want all of you to follow the rules and behave well inside, lest you meet the same fate Sir Gay just did. Oh, I could imagine Gay might be a little disappointed about this result, but during operation, or normal operation, all you have to do is wait a short period of time.
I know I missed several of them, so just getting it out of the way. Gay!
Right. Good. It's against the rules to fight. Yeah, he made up for it. It's all good.
Oh, I know. We're getting to the fun part where he's getting punished for all his actions.
Oh, he already got.
Oh, I know. I know. Oh, it's so deliciously needed.
Yeah. It's like
fuck that guy.
It's against the It's against the rules to fight other adventurers, so it's important to wait your turn and conquer the dungeon the right way. Soka used a melodious tone of voice to run all this down. What's the right way mean here? She didn't specify. I thought the crowd felt kind of awkward about this, but Soka's follow-up largely steamrolled over all of that. As she went on, Gay woke up again, then reeled back in shock, remembering what had happened to him. Seeing him recovered, if intensely frustrated, helped calm the crowd down a great deal. Well, good. It seemed like the crowd had accepted Molly Mile's explanation for everything. He may have been a total prick, but the things we learned from observing Gay were quite useful. If we could work out how to deal with high-level adventurers sprinting down just to raid the treasure chest, hopefully we could avoid losing a mint on this. That, and everybody certainly knew how the rules worked now. All in all, I'd say Gay's journey proved pretty satisfactory for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little star. Shall I continue?
Yeah, continue. We're almost done, dude.
Oh, we're almost there. Okay.
Yeah.
Thus, each team wrapped up their runs, leaving only Basan's party inside. They had only about the run. They had all about 10 minutes left, so I'd want them to wrap up shortly.
Basan!
Yep, you gotta do the pose.
Basan!
As I thought about that, one of Basan's companions screamed loudly and fell to the ground in the corridor. Someone in the adjacent room must have gotten him. He was alive, but there was an arrow straight through his right eye. See? I told you going in all careless like that was dangerous. There was a single Skelemang inside this chamber, wielding a bow and taking... Yeah, Skelemang.
Skeleton!
And taking pot shots and aiming to the door. Yeah. Second party member through the archway was rewarded with a bolt between the eyes. That's not a good reward. He fell as well, but unlike Gay, he disappeared into light particles after 10 seconds. Nice. We'd have at least one challenger experience death before time expired then. The remaining 4 party members made quick work of the skeleton. The skeleton. Skelemang. Look at this, Soka said, talking quickly. We haven't had anyone drop out yet, but that skeleton has just claimed 2 victims.
Skeleton.
But don't worry, because the deceased will be revived shortly back at the surface. This audience was riveted by the "you are there" viewpoint they had of the battle. Having it shown on such a huge screen like that really did make it feel like you were exploring the labyrinth with them. I heard screams here and there whenever a monster appeared, which I thought was pretty cool reaction. Maybe it was like watching a horror film. People started shouting their heads off when that party member died too. Maybe staging viewing points of the action inside the labyrinth would be a fun idea. We'd work this out with the participating adventurers in advance, of course. We couldn't get away with showcasing their exploits without permission.
Get those NDAs, yeah.
yeah, good. Really, today was helping me come up with all kinds of little ideas. For now, though, time was almost up. This offered a nice taste of the show to everyone, I thought. Basan's party helped keep things tense throughout. In the end, they were pretty good challengers, actually. Basan. They may have dissed Masayuki and crowded about ripping the facade off the labyrinth and accused me of running a con job. Once they were in, they forgot all about that and focused on their task. Now they were shedding tears and wailing the names of their fallen comrades. Not only did they have the wrong impression, they clearly weren't the kind of people who listened to anything they were told. As beta testers, they were tremendously helpful. All right, everyone, it's just about time to return to the surface. Alpha, the guide for Basan's party, interrupted their mourning in her matter-of-fact voice. Basan looked livid at her for a moment, but Alpha ignored him and forced their return whistles to activate. God damn you! Basan protested, but he swallowed his words back on the surface. Oh, hey Basan, I guess I actually got resurrected. Being greeted by his alive and very confused companion made Basan's anger vanish. Whoa, awesome, you really came back to life? Yeah, I thought I was done for, but it didn't hurt nearly as much as I thought. Now I'm back to normal. Man, are you serious? Because if so, this is just amazing. There's so few people out there who can just cast resurrection magic, and this bracelet does it all for us? The group chattered on some more as they celebrated their revived companion. Ugh, damn it, my eye. How about we use this? The man with his eyes shot out had it all fixed up with a dose of potion. This is crazy. For people like us, our bodies are our main asset, so having this sort of setup is like a dream. Wow, so it's true? Man, we really can go all out next time. You were going all out, man. I don't think I saw you check for traps once all day. Once they get nastier on later floors, you're goners. I could criticize their style all day, but I stayed mum for now. The key thing was how the crowd reacted, and after seeing how Basan's party fared start to finish, I think they understood how safe the dungeon was. As an advertising stunt, I'd call today a success. The challengers were all lined up on stage now. I headed up as well, standing in front of them to offer some closing remarks. So what did you all think? I asked, mic'd in hand. Did you have fun today? Our dungeon will be officially opening to the public in just a few more days. I guarantee to all of you that it's perfectly safe. So if you're interested, go ahead and give it a try yourself. And if any of you can conquer the 100th floor on the bottom, I will grant you the right to challenge me in battle. With that, the event was over, and my instincts told me we kicked ass. The tournament final was exciting, though, enough, but viewing these test runs into the labyrinth really did make it seem like you were there. It was a great way to round out the show. Of course, it would have been perfect if the show actually ended then, but... Rimuru, what is the matter? I've yet to see any challengers. How long do I have to wait?
God damn it, Veldora.
The labyrinth
Damn it,
sent me a
Veldora.
thought communication that clearly indicated he had listened to a word I said. Way to ruin the moment, man. Shut up. How many times do I have to tell you? Listen to me. Shut up. How many times do I have to tell you? Listen to me. You're not going to see anyone good enough to make it down to the bottom for a while. What? That was not how I understood it. You understood it wrong, dumbass. Why don't you actually try listening to me? We argued about this for a little while afterward. You know how you sometimes see kids get yelled at during a fair or festival because they get too worked up and all that? It's so regrettably common, so this time I lectured Veldora until I was damn sure he was sorry. Good.
And that's the chapter.
Woo!
Sit the fuck down, Veldora.
Yeah. He's
Wait,
right
where are my challengers? Shut up!
there.
Step the fuck up, Kyle. It's that kind of a
They'll
moment.
get there when they get there.
So what'd you think, guys? Fun? Yeah?
was good.
Times?
So
Good
much
I really
times?
liked certain parts of it.
Yeah.
I
Certain
like
parts?
seeing gay get killed.
Yeah, he
That
got annihilated. I tried to give him a really annoying voice, so
Seriously, fuck gay. He's just a gay person who gay is terrible.
I mean, it's true though. He killed Molly Mile for to test it out, and Molly Mile was like, "Are you fucking?" I know he's not a vindictive person, but I'm sure a part of him was like, okay.
Muppets.
That's for my arm.
Like he probably
bitch.
felt like nothing.
He's
like,
that's for my arm, bitch. All right. So really
Yeah.
That's what you
quickly,
get for cutting off my arm, you bitch.
so really quickly, for those of you, I didn't do this at the beginning, and I probably should have. For those of you who are coming back tomorrow, we will be back tomorrow. We're doing One Piece Alabasta abridged reactions. So we got those 4 episodes. We're going to do the reactions for those. If Sonic is here tomorrow, he can be joining us for that. We got Moon will be joining us. We're going to have some of the cast and the crew. Tony and Chibi will be here. We're going to have Doger here. I think we're going to have Ray. Cody, I believe, will be joining us. Yeah, we're gonna have some of the cast and crew coming in, joining us, hopping in and out. I actually made a specific voice channel in Slime for the reactions and stuff like that, so we can have those going on. And most of the cast and crew actually are cast and crew for Slime as well, so it shouldn't be a problem to get us.
Part of the cast, part of the crew.
God damn it!
Sorry.
You would. You fucking would. You
I'm
fucking
just happy
would,
to be
mate.
here.
You fucking what, mate?
Part of the cast,
You want to go?
part of the crew.
You fucking what,
Swear at me,
mate?
mom.
Actually, funny enough, some of them did not actually recently voice for Slime until this episode. Funny enough, Yomi is actually going to be showing up in Slime 9, doing 2 lines as Kenya, which is deep voice Kenya.
Yeah.
He's going to be deep
Yep.
voice Kenya. He's like, "The fuck did you say?"
Yep.
It was really, really funny. It's super stupid funny.
So
Good.
wait. Kenya is high pitched up until he gets pissed.
Up
Is that what
until
I'm
he gets
understanding?
mad. It's like he's like, I'm
That's
gonna.
amazing.
The light spirit goes and says something that makes Kenya just like really mad, and then suddenly he gets a deep voice. And if you think
That's fantastic.
if you think we're not making a joke about the fact that his name is Kenya, you are absolutely out of your mind.
Wrong. You're wrong.
You're out of your mind.
Flat out
It's like
wrong.
your name is
Yes.
Kenya. Insert
Yes.
random joke. Insert random joke. Just saying. I won't tell you what the joke is, but we're gonna have fun with it. We may not be able to pull off the joke on YouTube, but it's definitely gonna be on Patreon.
Mhm.
So join Patreon today.
I have many guesses about the joke. Like, I'm guessing he's probably a hungry child.
100% gonna tell you right now. 100% gonna tell you right now, guys. Please join our Patreon if you have not done so today. I'm going to tell you this for multiple reasons. Number one, I am going to beg. I am going to beg.
Not too proud to beg.
Not too proud to beg. Please join our Patreon for every $100 that we make on our Patreon. That is
Not good enough.
We need money. Please.
for every
I
$100.
want to stop working at Amazon.
For every $100 that we make on Patreon, that helps me actually like feed myself.
For every dollar we get $1.
I
Also-
don't see any of that money yet because I'm not in it. But damn it, I
to be
need
fair.
a job that's not killing me.
You know,
Here's the other thing. Oh no! All right. Here's the real thing, guys. If you want to know why abridged episodes are taking longer, did you know that we used to actually put out an abridged episode every 3 months? Did you know we could still
Those were
hit
times.
technically we have the ability to still do that. We're just not gonna. Here's the reason why.
morally.
Here's the reason why. Because we're now going to pay our voice actors. How do we pay our voice actors? Through your patron donation. Through your donations through our Patreon. And if you want to see the episode sooner, the best way you can help out with that is to donate through our Patreon so that we can pay our voice actors the money that they actually deserve to get paid. So,
Yes.
if you want that episode out sooner, please consider becoming a patron today.
If you don't mind. Thank you.
Pretty please.
Honestly, I think that should be the video right there.
Yeah.
That should be the video right there. That should 100% be the video right there.
And if you can, I mean, you know, it is the holidays. but
You
I
could
don't
do it.
think
You
you
could do it for just
can.
I understand that inflation is a bitch.
Absolutely.
We're not talking about a Black Friday super special sale. $1 a month. Or
Yeah.
And,
$10
you know,
a year.
I'm
And
sorry.
don't feel bad if you can't even afford that. Not everyone's got money. Hey, you thought about it. That at least we feel nice. But hey, if you get some
Telephone?
extra money every month, you know.
Telephone, tell a friend, tell a girl. Those are the fastest ways to get the information out there.
Mm-hmm.
Tell a mom too.
Or tell a mom. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Our mom's girls. Sorry. It's not about that.
Also-
Sometimes they are.
It was funny how well that worked for Thanksgiving too.
That was.
I told Mom about it, and she's like, "Oh, okay." And I'm like, "Yeah," and I probably shouldn't talk for the rest of the day. He's like, "Oh, you sit here." Oh, okay.
Dude, it's insane how fast word gets out. Sometimes.
Okay, so
not in your
all right,
but just in
everybody,
general.
everybody, tell your mom about our Patreon.
I'm telling mine.
My mom already knows, but
Tell your mom
more
about our
money issues than I
Patreon.
have, honestly.
Tell your mom about our Patreon. Then tell her to tell the rest of the family,
Yeah. Especially your aunt.
especially your
Just
aunt.
as good.
Just have them tell everybody. Like,
Yeah.
we will have this shit funded, no problem. Operators are standing by.
By operators, I mean no one. It's just
No
Richie.
one. No one. It's
Yeah.
just me.
Hello? Why, yes, you can subscribe to the Patreon by going to the fucking website. Why the hell did you call me?
That was an expensive phone, man. You
Also-
could have cracked your screen.
Also, very much. Also, I just realized I very much need to give you an I also owe you an apology, Moon.
Wait.
I've been so busy, I fucking forgot to actually post your most recent video to Patreon. I'm sorry.
You son of a butt!
I'm sorry. Do you know how much fucking pressure I've been under with a lot of other shit?
I get it.
Dun,
I
dun,
get it.
dun,
Okay,
dun,
I get it. Just post it now.
I'm-
After this.
I'm working on it.
Put the
No,
post.
I'm
Do the
I'm
post.
doing it now.
Good.
He's gone.
Okay,
Oh, he
now
gone.
I am not doing it now.
Mm.
But why?
You cracked a whip. You literally just. Are you fucking kidding?
I thought you said whips excite you. You sang it in a song and everything.
Good at it. Sex
I
in the
sang it in
air.
a song.
Na-na-na-na-na-na. 6 and stones may break my bones, but whips and chains excite me.
That was not.
Da-na-na-na-na.
No. That is. I never once sang it in a song. You are hearing things, Moon.
You sure?
Yeah, I could have swore you sang that at least once.
So somebody
Oh,
want
ass,
to explain.
ass.
So, does somebody want to explain to Moon why he's about to die?
That's what you said at the hotel room too.
Could you imagine if, like,
Does
Richie
somebody
reached
want
his
to
hand
explain
over
to
and you
Moon
saw
to
a
why
hand
he's
going-
about to die? I said at the hotel room at AWA, does somebody want to explain to Moon why he's about to die?
Although you could have been talking about the alcohol poisoning at that point. It was
Also-
kind of a blur.
Also, it's a yeah, it could have been that. Definitely
Fear
could have
and
been
loathing
that.
in a certain con.
Fear and loathing at a certain convention. Yeah.
Yeah. hmm
Yeah. All right. Anywho,
Anyway,
Guys.
thanks for coming, you guys.
thanks for showing up.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk about the other.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
the other thing.
episode 12,
Mhm.
episode 13. Right? Those were the.
I'm doing
Yeah,
computers.
no, this should be 13 and 14.
Okay.
No. Last one is 11 and 12.
12, and
Ah, wow.
13. Thank you.
Is that what I have on there?
Wait, you
Sorry, I
haven't
read
seen...
that as Fear and Loathing and
I
Lost.
think- Look, I just started the most recent one, so my numbers are fucked, okay? And it's going to be a really quick edit. That was the one, hopefully one of a chain, where nothing went wrong. I had the smallest amount to cut out, and I'm just like, this is nice. This is so lovely.
This is so lovely. Isn't it lovely?
Das ist gut.
Isn't it wonderful?
I
So,
thought
yeah,
you
if
were
you
about to go
wanna-
into Pygmalion.
Oh,
Pygmalion.
Yeah.
no.
Wouldn't it be lovely? Lovely. Oh, I can barely hit that falsetto range.
I can't even graze
Yes, and
upon it with
Gucci.
my eyelash. Like,
I could normally hit that falsetto, but I'm still recovering.
yeah,
Wait,
it's hard.
Wait.
You sound a lot better today than you did last time, though. I think
Oh,
we
I
all
am-
do,
Seen...
'cause
Like
I'm so glad we're all
practically better.
recovering.
It's just the higher end of my range
Mhm.
is still fucked. So
hmm
All right.
It's okay. You gotta take care of that voice. So
I've been
would you
drinking
like some good
teas.
news?
Yes.
Sure.
It's up on the fucking channel now.
Yay!
It's up on Patreon now.
Yay!
And there was much rejoicing. Yay, there we go. Yeah. We had the happy yays and we had the low yays. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the times.
It was the worst of times. Get back to work.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the times.
Mm-hmm.
All
That's
right.
why it's called the New York Times.
If you are a patron, that's why it's called the New York Times.
Yeah, because it's neither the best nor the worst. It's just
The New York
just
Times.
New York. Yeah, it's just times.
Everyone, Moon has a new reaction on the Patreon.
You can watch it today.
That was a great salesman voice. I love it.
All right.
Oh, I inherited that from my dad, oddly enough.
So tomorrow.
Congratulations! You've just won a brand new adventure.
Okay, so tomorrow
Brand new adventure.
tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time is when we will be starting with the One Piece reactions. So, good times.
Yayo.
One Piece Alabasta
Yo ho
Abridged.
ho! We took a bite of gum gum.
Yeah. Yeah. Dream it. Don't give it up, Richie. Don't give it up, Sonic. There he goes. He gave it up. He gave it up. He gave it up. Give it. Oh.
We
Here's
win.
how the story
We
goes.
win.
We'll find out the treasure in the
Oh.
Grand Line. There's no doubt the pirates whose eyes on it will
I'm
say,
leaving.
"Oh, we can't
I'm
find
leaving.
it."
How do you know this?
I love that song. It's unironically a banger.
I mean, okay, yeah.
This place.
I remember. I do know.
Might not be great, but the intro.
I
is
actually
fire.
know one of the Japanese opening.
This place is built.
Hashiri
Hashiri dase.
Dase? That's what they say?
Hashiri dase.
I'm not
Hashiri
even trying.
dase.
Hashiri dase.
Yeah.
Hashiri
Yeah, there you go.
dase.
This place is built worse than a librarian's miniskirt. The fuck are you looking at? I love that. All right. Later, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye!
Become a patron today.